Morning. Let's start with national anthem. जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत संविधान भारत भाग्य विधाता जम्मू कश्मीर पंजाब हिमाचल हरियाणा राजस्थान दिल्ली यूपी उत्तराखंड बिहार गुजरात मध्य द्राविड़ आंध्रा तेलंगाना कर्नाटक केरला वंगा उच्छल जल्दी तिरंगा विंद हिमाचल तावी सरस्वती यमुना कृष्णा ब्रह्मपुत्रा चल जल्दी तिरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा भारत सर्वधर्म नागरिक भारत विधाता जनगण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत संविधान भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय भारत वंदे मातरम सुजलम सुफलम मलया शीतलम सहस्या श्यामलम मातरम वंदे मातरम जय भारत जय संविधान. Suraj, back to you to talk you about management of construction engineering. Big subject, biggest world discipline. Everywhere it is done with no choice of not to sin. Yes or no? You have to spend your money, all your life earnings on what? On construction, to have a shelter on your roof, to have a good house for you. That is called construction engineering, real estate engineering, and all other development works in our country or in other country are done. All you have spent, all you have to spend your money on that. That is means about 70% of whole world budget goes to construction, goes to development, and that is called development, physical development. That is very significant. Means it involves every sector. If you want a house, if you want a building, if you want something, you want a road, if you want an airport, all these are part of development. And we are all involved directly or indirectly. Every class of people, every society, and without this you cannot move. But we just use those items, use those facilities. We never think of those, how these are constructed, who is responsible for them, and we just enjoy those facilities. But sometimes we have to think, means for what, who is responsible for that, and whether or not these are quality product that we are traveling in or we are using in which house we are living, is that really quality one? Is there any chance that you may have to face problem from that? Everything is discussed and involved in this quality talk. Its objective is just to aware you from your sleep. We are 1.4 billion people in Bharat, India, and you can say how much money we spend on such goods. You may say it is good or service, whatever you call it. You spend your whole earning. You think of a house, this is a dream for everyone, and you think it will come automatically or somebody will give you. It never happens. You have to spend your hard. I'm not talking of the riches, whoever you are. I'm talking for common citizen. Are you concerned with that house quality? That's my point. You spend lakhs and millions of rupees or dollars everywhere involved. Other countries are they are bothered about quality. More than 50, 60%, 70% countries are really bothered. But we are a great nation. We bother for nothing. We bother for nothing actually. We are so great people. We are so great people. We can excuse everybody. You do right or you do wrong, okay, no problem. We'll manage. If you go and see everywhere in our country, even maybe you have constructed your house. Can you ask a question to yourself? Was it quality house or was just a structure of your choice or your builder's choice or your promoter's choice or your labor contractor choice or your contractor choice? Have you ever analyzed that? Did you ever raise a question to yourself? Where has your money gone to? When you go to market to buy vegetables or to buy something else for your home use, you spend 100 rupees, 200 rupees on that. Don't you ask a question? Don't you ask a hawker or vendor what quality is, or don't you examine quality yourself? You do that. You want to buy potato, tomato, carrot or something, or some other material, you watch that quality, you conduct that test yourself, or at least you are aware of that. But are you aware of this? For such an item which which draws all your savings and forces you to be under bank loan, which you have to repay for years and your generations have to repay that, you never bother about that. My point is that just you to think, after all, who is robbing your money? Who's you are happy? Oh, I have reduced rate of contractor. I have reduced labor of this. I have reduced this rate of supply of cement. Or you are in wrong sphere. You are in wrong train. Did you ensure quality of those materials? You never ensured. You got a plan either yourself or through some architect, and you got it constructed to physical being by some mason, by some carpenter, or by someone else without even caring for its future. You are so much concerned about your future, about your kids future, about future of everyone, but you are not concerned about your house future in which you sleep round clock. Some of your members reside round the clock, and maybe you go do job and you at least use that for 10 hours a day. You sit in your office, that is also that you use at least 12 hours a day. You never think of that. My purpose only that to open your eyes and minds in Bharat, India particularly, because I have seen here and everybody knows there exists no quality system, no quality management, no quality control except rubbish production of construction. Rubbish production. Rubbish means you go and see what sort of bricks are there, how steel is used. Steel means rod, steel reinforcement. What is standard of your concrete production? What is standard of working of those workers, this crew of concrete, how they do? You never think of that. You only pay and you think I should get a house. That's fine to that extent, right? You are concerned with that, you get delivery of that also, but you are not concerned with quality factor of that. You might have seen many houses in private sector as in other sectors that they just do it and later on they find some balconies little coming down, they put another support there. You never ask a question, is that right and why did it happen? There is nothing as such. And that is where I say engineering lapses. This is engineering labs, and there is no engineer. In fact, nobody employs engineer. And this is not for advertisement of engineer, not at all. You apply or you don't apply, why not? I'm not concerned with that. My concern is, are you yourself concerned or not concerned? Because I have seen many people, they don't bother about all this. They don't bother about all this. They think just some lines should be available to plan and you will do it. Not one, many cases I have seen throughout my life. People are so experts. People think this contractor, so-called labor contractor, or these experienced artisans or masons or carpenters, they can do a lot. But that is your thinking. I'm not going to eradicate that thinking. I'm not going to erode that. You can think your way. But question is, it's your graveyard or your house. You have to decide. You want to live in a graveyard which in fire is broken, which collapse during earthquake, it collapse, or it loses its strength every day when there is 140-kilometer speed of wind, or there is water coming up through capillary action, or there is subsidence of this building, that you have to understand yourself. Or you want to see cracks in your walls, or you want to see your building in danger, you want to see your building tilted after some time. All these factors are there, which include design, which include execution, which include quality and everything. That is purpose of a talk. I am civil engineer, that I have shown you. I have experience here as well as of this country, and I have seen work how it is done. Our people do not work here, by heart, by mind. I don't know reason behind that. Either they are not paid or they are not happy. But when they go out of country, in other world, in other nations, they are forced to do something and they do that. You can go to see those countries, go to Gulf countries, go to Middle East countries, and go to Iraq, go somewhere else. You will find much better quality than we are conducting here. Have you ever thought what's the reason of that? That reason is we are sleeping society. Mentally, we are sleeping society. We are not concerned with anything. We leave it to others. Let them do. And when let them do comes in, nobody takes responsibility because everybody says, let them do. I pass responsibility to you, you pass responsibility to someone else, and that someone else passes responsibility to someone else. So this is a chain of losing responsibility by everybody. So when if you give, for example, you give maintenance of a garden to someone, whole public shall take care of this, and you will find nobody takes care of that because there is no responsible person. Everybody is responsible. Here also same formula applies. Everybody is responsible means nobody is responsible and leave work to itself. And that's what happens here. Means we have development works. For example, metro, railway, every city is making it. You can see and see other development works, water lines, sewer lines, buildings, flyovers, roads, railways, everywhere you go and see. I am sure, I can guarantee this, that you will not find quality everywhere. Even it is biggest company, it is a reputed company. Company is reputed, company has good title, everybody has title, but person who is working there in line, online, in front, that's called line manager or line worker or line engineer. That person is not serious by culture. He is educated, he got degrees, diplomas, postgraduate, whatever, but he is not educated in work. Because university does not teach practical work. No university teaches. Even IIT or Institute of Engineers or whatever in this country, practical learning does not start. They don't give. Now there is just a hoax internship which is meaningless until one learns in front, in sun, in rain, in every weather condition. You cannot say that you have learned something. Your certificate is just a showpiece because it doesn't teach you how to do work practically. And that is where I am concerned. You may have 25 years experience in government or in private sector, but if you have not exposure to practical considerations, there is no meaning of that learning. You will make mistakes again and again because you learned how to make mistakes. You learn how to produce bad quality. So you do same thing. Same your workers learn, same your artisans learn, and same you like. Because when you see something again and again and again, you like that. You like the facts. This is a really extraordinary situation. We like the facts, we don't even point out the facts. And that is where lapse occurs. People don't know reason of anything. They don't consider that and allow it. So I am just saying that it's my concern to interact with people, that leave it to government, forget government. I don't consider about government because money is yours, not government money. What government does, I'm not caring about that. I'm caring about you who are real government, who are practical government, that you are spending your money directly yourself or through government, whatever way. Ultimately, it is public money. It is natural resources that we are going to use, and those resources belong to us as far as our country is concerned. And if you cannot understand that, you waste it. For example, you are not understanding about how to keep hygiene, how to keep safe. Same way, you do not understand how to get quality work because your life itself is not quality life. Quality applies everywhere, but This is permanent when I'm talking. So there are institutions, there are ways. For example, concrete you can take, as I pointed out earlier, brick we can take. Have you ever thought this brick is good or bad? You never thought, but you just buy, pay, and use it. Same way, you never thought how this concrete is worked upon, how they produce it, and why should I use this? Why should I use it? Okay, it's done, it is conventional, we'll do it. This means we have stopped using our mind, at least to an extent. Well, let's move further. Quality. Aspect of quality in life. There are various standards in whole world now. There is a standard ISO 9001 international standard. This is which specifies, which rolls out, which governs quality system. Quality system means management systems. Whatever I was talking till now, this was about quality control. Quality control is one part of management, not total part of management. It's just a small part. But quality management is leading section, leading gross book, you can say. What is quality management? Is total quality management, system management. Just like your desktop is a system, your personal computer, your laptop is a system, your mobile is a system. These are all systems. That way, there's an imaginary system which we think how we should move from 0 to 100, from A to Z. That management is called quality management, just like our life is. How we should live. What should be our standards of education we consider into that? What should be our growing up standard? What should be our money standard, character standard, society standard? We consider all values and then say this is my status. Status doesn't mean only money. Status doesn't mean only designation. Status means totality of your personality that gives status, but we consider only money these days. If you have a big car, you have a status, means this is quality life you consider. If you have a big house, you consider this is my quality life. If you have good family, good wife, good kids, and they are saying, oh, it's my quality family. That is your consideration. But status means all points, virtual points that you enjoy in your life and that helps others, your society and whole nation. That is called standard of quality. I consider it that way. Same with system. Whatever system we manage, that is called, every point of that system, every consideration constituted with that system should be perfect to our constraints. Perfect doesn't mean everything is perfect, but to certain limits it should be perfect. That's what it says when we organize something. For example, you organize a society, association or something. How we organize? You say, let us collect 7%, 8%, let us collect and start an association. You start an association, fine. But what is your association? What's it saying? What's the objective? You have to define them. Otherwise, there can be no purpose of your association. Then you have to organize how we move, what will bylaws, will be regulations, how shall we meet, how shall we do in that annual report, and what frequency of our meeting would be, and how shall we tour this area, that area. You consider all that in writing. Or just everything is verbatim? No, you cannot live to verbatim. You write it, then you do it. And just writing is not enough. You have to re-examine it. Same way, works move. These works move by company or by organization or by yourself or by whatever means. These move and there are some controls on them. Controls by whom? Controls by professionals. For example, one owner, you are an owner, you are not professional for that work. Okay, you are liable for money, you are liable for that, for maintenance after construction and for construction. You are liable for that. It's your responsibility. Whoever works on that project is your responsibility, but you cannot take that responsibility. We are not doing that. You are not expert of that. So you are employing someone. And employment is who is? You are employing a professional for purpose of design and supervision. It may be architect, it may be engineer, as your choice. I'm not forcing on that. Both are professionals. You have to design, you have to plan, you have to do structural detailing, and you have to go. That's called professional engineer or architect. Then there's a person who is expert of of executing that, of constructing that, that expert is called contractor. You may consider that, but professionally contractor is the expert. If he is not expert, he is not qualified to be a contractor or a builder or a promoter, whatever you call that. But we consider, okay, no problem, everybody can do that. This is our concept. But practically it is not that, professionally it's not right. If that person does not job, does not know ABCD of construction, that person is not authorized to be called a contractor or a promoter. That we have to keep in mind. If there is no statute, there is no law for that, we have to keep that law in mind, that we cannot award that job to everybody. We have to ensure that that person knows job. But that criteria we miss in our country. Well, so there is a triangle at three corners are there. One where you sit as an owner, okay, you are owner, you have liability of money and every other liability. Then there's a person who is controlling that, and that is designer and supervisor, that is engineer, architect, also, and then this contractors. So this is a triangle. And this triangle has many you can say factors they have to consider. They have to consider time, that this project should be finished in this time. They have to consider money, cost. This cost is limited. We have this budget, and you design according to this budget. We cannot exceed expenditure more than this, or there are some limitations, 2%, 3% variation, 5% variation. Then we see we need this type of quality. That quality you have to mention. These 3 points are very important. Means time, cost, and quality. Time is very important, quality is much more important, and of course money, cost. Then scope, you know, because you are going to deliver this, that is scope. Then there are risk factors. What is risk? That point we have to consider professionally. Maybe you don't consider, but you should consider as promoters honor, because it's your money. Whether it's going to give a return or not, that you may consider, or you will be successful in that, or you will enjoy that, or you sell that, whatever is in mind. That is your point. Then there are other sub factors like human resources, equipment, all this. Means at that time that engineer would consider, or contractor would consider if it with you. So all these points come into picture when you decide this. But because you are not expert of that, you have to draw support from other professionals. What I am saying is these 3 points constitute part of project management or construction management, which are very important. I have explained before in so many videos about safety. SHE, that's called safety, health and environment and ergonomics, which is very professional subject but applies to everybody. If you are not safe, you cannot work safe. Even if you are walking on road and there's some small stone connected with floor and you stumble on that, you can understand you fall. Just think of you're walking on a footpath on the road and there is a small stone fixed in, not removed by that person mason, and it's still there, and by chance your foot strikes with that, you will shock down. You'll fall down. Have you ever noticed this? Maybe you have not noticed because you use a scooter, motorcycle, or car all the time, and you never walk that good reason. But it happens. I have experienced that many times. That is lack of safety. You can call it lack of safety, negligence of work. So it is very small, but it is very impactable. You can fall, and your head can break. Thing that way you're saying you're running and rising a staircase. You're rising is maybe 6 inches, 5 inches, whatever it is, and maybe these are unequal sometimes. One riser is 6 inches and was 5.5 inches, third one is 7 inches. It can happen, and you're just like you fall there, because when just you rise on any stair riser, just climb that, ascend that, your mind automatically programs height of riser, and you need same height again and again on that stair, but it doesn't get, and you stumble. This happens. You can try. This means, though it's very small point, it's very responsible point. All risers should be equal. Tread can be adjusted, though it should also be equal, but riser is very important because you are doing work on riser. Your body is working on that. Physical work in physical definition. Your body works on that when you rise. And if there's a difference of 2 millimeters even, you can fall. That's point of safety. You are sitting in a chair and you don't care how to say, you're just careless and you fall like this and you go back. You're sitting on a computer, don't know what angle you should use eye on this monitor or in this LCD, you can't. You can have impact on your eyes. That all I have discussed to you, I talked to you in various videos, which URL I have put already in this video text. If you have time, if you are interested to know, there are about 34 chapters I put on that. Very common, there's no technical details of photographs in that. Ordinary language is used, which, and in this, safety is first we consider. If I am not safe, how can I work? If I am not safe, how can I ensure other guy is safe? That is very important. We have to see this. So safety is one part, quality is another part. Once you are safe, you can work further. You can guide others. You have to ensure safety of the structure itself. This was like talking about personal safety and individual safety. Now come to safety of what you are doing. You are going to construct a house, a building, or whatever. You think it is easy? You don't know what's behind that. Maybe people don't know what's behind that. There's a physical building as well as there's an imaginary building. Before that physical it is done. There's a lot of imagination. There's innumerable calculations behind that. Imaginations are there. Have you ever thought of that? Maybe those who are engineers, they will reply this, but as common citizen, you may not be aware of that. If it takes 6 months or 1 year for construction of a building, it takes many months behind that for its initiation, its generation of thoughts, how to do, what to do, use of theory, use of soil testing, and many other factors which are allowed to work together theoretically and bring to it some drawing sketch or some drawing plot so that you get it done on site. Lot of work is there. Maybe if you open curtain, you will find there is thought how, what square meter, for example, you say what is square, what size of your plot is. Then there's so many other considerations. You have to draw a plan, then you have to design it further. You have to go to site and test soil, which generally people miss. For you it may be very small item, but it's not a small item. If soil is not strong, your building can never work there. You may spend a lot of money on that. That's all useless. If your soil mitti is not good, people don't understand about mitti or soil. They don't understand. They just, oh, it's very good soil. On what basis you say? You do not know, but you say it is good soil. Soil is cheat item, remember. Soil means cheating, natural cheat item. It cheats you. It cheats you because you don't know what it is. There's a type of soil, you can say clay soil, for example, chikni mitti we call in north part, chikni mitti, black corn soil in south. This is clay. Then there is silt, better than clay, and there is a sand, better than clay and silt. Then there is a rock. There are so many types of soils, and you know nothing about anything. Relation of soil and water, relation of soil and no water. There are so many ways which we have to consider when we examine soil. And without that, we cannot understand what strength this soil gives. And when we don't know what strength this soil will give, how can you design building? After all, foundation means not to take a load permanently. Foundation means to transfer load of building to soil below. And load doesn't mean direct load or load in tons. There's load, there is a movement, there is another force, there is wind movement, there is seismic earthquake movement, and fire action. There are so many points that we consider in designs. All these points are very much complicated in calculations. It takes time to understand them because it depends upon area where your building is sited, and it depends upon what provisions are there in our codes, in international codes like European codes, like British codes, like American codes. All codes can come to help you if you want that. But you can get help from them only if you know about that. Engineers cannot explain to you because you are not interested, but use is very important. If you cannot use them, these are useless. Same way, if you don't know strength of soil, You cannot, you will say, okay, where I have done 4 feet depth, I have a foundation, I cited 6 feet or 7 feet or 8 feet or 2 meters. You may be happy. You may be happy falsely. You have spent money, but you're happy only. I have done this without knowing what's. If you think you go down and down, much deeper foundation is good. No, this is misconception. It's not like that. There is a load that can be transferred to soil. That's called bearing capacity. How much load my soil can bear, that we have to decide. At what depth we have to go, that we have to decide. Because there is availability of water also there, which is dangerous for foundation. All these points we have to understand in design and quality, but we do not care for that. When there is water available, means your soil strength is reduced even less than half. So your buildings will suddenly subside, it will settle, and you will find cracks on walls. So bearing capacity, other factors are also there. If it is, you can say, clay soil, you cannot depend upon that soil, because that soil shall certainly ditch you. You will be impacted badly by that soil. That is called clay, but people are happy to see that, but sometimes you find it very strong in appearance. That is nature of soil. This soil is good for agriculture, not for your building. This has different property. Chickeny mitti, clay soil, you add water to that soil, it will swell, it will increase in volume, and if you take out water from that, it will shrink. You'll find polygonal cracks on your field. If you go and see some agricultural land where there is no water, you will find a chain of cracking all over. That is the effect of clay. It cheats you, but you like it because its appearance is very nice. Oh, it is very well. I can walk on this very well. I don't feel, yes, because it is nature is that. It contains harmful minerals, and it is not directly good. This weak soil actually, very weak soil. Sand is better than this if it's graded sand. Sand means, you can say, if you take river sand or you take pit sand, that is much better than soil if it's graded one. So these all fall in chapters in world of soil exploration, which people are not concerned with, unfortunately. This is the root of your tree. If your root of tree is not good, how can your tree grow? So foundation and soil are root of your building tree, and you are not caring about that. You don't want to spend money on that. You are spending money on bricks for nothing, which are useless. Bricks are also product of clay. Where's brick? It's clay, nothing else. And that's also not quality product. But you are using that into your foundations, which shall certainly deteriorate in future. We have to understand this scope, this point. People don't understand this. I don't know reason, they just are swayed by what plumbers, what mason says, what contractor, they just are swayed by their misrepresentation of facts. And you get it. I have seen many cases. Electricians, electrical engineers who know nothing about buildings, civil engineering, they are more reliable, people think, than someone else. Oh, that person can. I asked someone, you are constructing this building, what's your background? I worked in Saudi Arabia. Okay, fine, very good, you worked in Saudi Arabia. Do you know this one? No, 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 I'm electrical. Now, why are you working in this? That person who gave him work, that is happy. Oh, this man will run away if I talk to him about quality and design. Why this man shall run away? He's doing some obligation on you. You are paying and he's working, this is service. So why you are so concerned run away? He says, I don't want I don't want zero defect building. One person told me when I talked to him, what happened? He brought a design to him, my known person. He brought a drawing to me. I want your help for this. Okay, I will give you help. Come on. It's my relative, so he came. This is my drawing. You further take care of this. When I went through drawing, this was completely distressful drawing. Of course, it was produced by an architect. It was approved by a municipality or authority, but it was completely rubbish. It's all copy paste. Architect copy pasted. Authority just by taking, this seal and sign, and owner is happy. He said, I paid this much to worker, I will not pay him. He wants this much more for his structural work. So I said to what? You help me. Okay, I will help you, no problem. I asked him many questions. He said, no, I cannot answer. Oh, you cannot answer. Why came to me? No, I just want your help. Oh, help, but you have to provide me feedback. I will go to your side and see what it is. There was a lift in that building. There's a lift in this. Yes, there is a lift in that. There was a staircase which was not rightly designed in that building. Means it was just copy paste. Height of floor is different, but stair is same. There's different, many floors are there. If floors are there, if heights is same, then stair should be same, or this different height, you can say stair is same. How can you say that? But it was copy paste. No, now you do. I don't know anything about this. I told you, you are going to install lift. Yes, I am going to install lift. Give me size of lift. I don't know. You don't know. You did not inquire any lift installer or lift manufacturer, and you just design lift. Well, what size of this you don't know? You tell me, I'll talk to that lift manufacturer. No, I'll not talk to anybody. So why are you installing lift? At least you take information from whosoever elevator, artist you want, or ETA, or whosoever you want. You at least take information that I am going to install a lift in that. Give me dimensions so that I can design well for. No. That my contractor says no. I'll just provide this size. This mentality we have. See, they don't give me any information. I'll go to your site and see what soil is, what type of soil is. He said, no, that contract says, okay, fine. I'll put some fine sand below that, below foundation, and it's okay. It will work for earthquake. You see, you have such people in this country. They will just put some fine sand, river sand, below this foundation, maybe 2-3 inches, and it will work for earthquake. This is our thinking. You tell me, how can you live in this country like that? If people are foolish, they want to spend money for nothing. They want to throw their money into water. What you do? Can you help the society? I want to help. You don't want to recognize my help. You will forget taking it. After that, that man was fed up with me. I was surprised. He wants to take my help. I'm not going to charge anything. Still, he says, I don't want zero defect building. What does it mean? What does it mean, don't want zero defect building? There's no question of defect. It's not constructed yet. You have to start it. So no, I am in tension by your question. Now you tell me, what should engineer do in that case? I said you are accepting some person who is not competent. First of all, he is an electrical person and he is going to construct a building, and you are happy with that, and you awarded him with that. No, he will run away. Or let him run away. You get another person, but you are spending money to what? To rubbish. Your money is going to be destroyed by this. But how can you help such people, you tell me? You can't help such people. This happens. I have seen such cases. Either you said, yes, everybody, I will help you, and cheat them. That's okay. You cheat everybody. People come to me for many things, I throw them out. Get out somewhere. Means you don't want my services, you just want paperwork. That's all. Somebody comes, there's a factory in UP, and I have to take restability certificate for legal requirement. So you just go and see it's okay. I cannot do that way. I can't, this is not my job to just what you say I do. Okay, I will not get job, no problem. But what you say I will do, it's not possible. I will see if it is worth, I will do. No, there was one person before you and he was doing everything for me. I want you, if you can to find, no, I don't want, thank you very much, go. What to do in such cases? That's what I am talking to you, that there is no standards in people. People do not want to get good work. They want to pay for bad work. If that's mentality of citizens in this country, I don't know future of this country. Everywhere there is a lapse of understanding. There is a lapse of quality management. Everywhere there is a lapse. It may be private sector, it's a government sector, whatever it is. You come and see private sector, L&T. You have an L&T company, and many more high-profile companies are working on, in certain sectors, quality is rubbish. There is no management. They don't understand what is quality, but they are working on jobs which amount to crores and crores and crores. Government has given them jobs, and they are working. They are spoiling complete work. But okay, you write to government, nobody listens. I have put those photographs of bad quality on Faridabad Smart City website. They removed from that. This is a standard. You don't complain for anything. You see people money go waste, no problem. Let it go waste. But you cannot complain against government or against contractors. This is standard in our country. How long can you digest this? I don't know what's the level of blood pressure people. How long can they digest robbing of their money like this? No quality, no system, no thinking, nothing. And we are moving developed nation. We are developed nation. We are Vishwaguru. This is Vishwaguru. You cannot construct building to specifications, to quality system, and you are Vishwaguru. You are not having any system in your country. You are Vishwaguru. Where is system? Where is safety? Where is quality? I don't understand. It's out of my understanding, at least. Maybe I am not having that much level of thinking. Maybe people are having much more developed level of thinking. That's only I can answer. Sometime I feel if I find that engineer of some project, I give a slap on face. Or if I find that IAS officer of authority, I'll push him and kick him. This much anger I get sometimes. These bloody fools, they are just spoiling nation and we are happily watching them. I don't understand why. For what? What's my objective for all this? My money, they are throwing into waters and I'm watching. I have no liability, no responsibility towards nation. Just stay calm, shut, keep your mouth shut. This is my citizen. Absorption power is so high, you can't say, well, it's not politics I'm talking anyway. Project management system saying, what should we do? We can only learn, that's all, nothing more than that. We can learn, and if you have power, you can implement this. If we cannot implement this, no one can help us. No one. Concrete and steel reinforcement. Forget brick. I'm not talking of brick. It's very small element. If you consider RCC, that is called reinforcement concrete, and you know what it is, and if you don't know, the concrete is there and steel is there. Combination of both is called reinforcement concrete. Concrete is good in compression, bad in tension, and for tension we provide steel reinforcement. So combination of two is called RCC when it is done on site, and when it is done by pre-tensioning, it is called pre-stress concrete. There are two items. RCC is facilitative, it's done on site. You have seen metro, vertical members they are doing cast in situ, and deck they are doing precast. This can happen in buildings also, in both ways buildings are constructed, but generally cast in situ means concrete cast or poured on site is called cast in situ. It is much more useful than something else because of many reasons. But question is not how it is done, question is quality management. Engineers are supposed, they are liable to implement quality, to decide quality, to define quality. This is their job. They have to learn and do it. I know university would not equip them with this syllabus, but closure of university or coming out of university does not mean you are an engineer. You are just initiator at engineer, the threshold of engineering. You have to learn it, you have to experience it, and then develop that method and work to deliver product with quality. That is job of engineer. To design is job of engineer. To manage is job of engineer. To plan is job of engineer. To devise safety methods is job of engineer. To define quality methods is job of engineer. And to deliver it in a proper manner is job of engineer. But does engineer do all this? That is question mark here. I'm not against engineers, I'm not against anybody, but facts cannot be stopped. If I have to criticize engineers, I have to criticize engineers because criticism is a part of profession. If you cannot criticize, you cannot find defects. Defects must be discovered, because defects means mistake, and mistake does not help in work. You cannot hide that. If you hide that, you are killing yourself, because in future it will come out. You can hide it currently. You can save your face. Oh, I have hidden it. I have cheated this. But whom you have cheated? You have cheated yourself. You repair it. Finish. If there's some mistake, you have to correct it. Remedy it. That's the only way. First of all, there should have been no mistake. If it has happened, why do you hide it? If you have some disease, ailment, shall you hide it or go to doctor? Why don't you consider building or structure same way? You are doctor of that. You are manufacturer of that. You remedy it, treat it. I don't know reason why do you shy from that. If you work, you will make mistakes. This is natural law. So why do you hide that mistake? It may be by ignorance or it may be by something else. After all, it has come up. Best way is we have to reinstate it. That's all. Nothing wrong with that, and that's a part of lesson. You will learn it, and if you repeat again, you repeat it, then it's a question mark. Why it happened again? Means you didn't learn any lesson. Means you are careless, you are ignorant, you least bother about that. This means that. Or your lesson is not reaching to those people who operate. It's not reaching to mason, it's not reaching to carpenter, it's not reaching to those who are responsible in that crew. That crew is not trained well. You are a bad master, bad teacher in that case, because it's your job as an engineer to teach them, to train foremen, to train supervisor, to train your juniors, and they have to train working crew. This is a chain of training, but you are not doing job. You don't know reason yourself why you are not doing that, and that is where lapses occur. Information of technology should not be limited to books only. It should reach to user. It should reach to lowest located in profile, in archaeology, in your organization, in your organization chart. It should reach to everybody, and then to honor of that means user of that. That user should know what you have done, but user also doesn't know, unfortunately. Oh, it's very good house, I have got delivery of this apartment, this flat is very beautifully decorated, it's very good painted, it's plastered very well. All that person knows, but that person doesn't know what is inside that anatomy of building, means structure of building. I call building structure in my way anatomy, because body has anatomy of bones. Same way there are bones in your building, and that bones are RCC anatomy. Within that there is a steel anatomy. And your building respirates, remember, it's not dead body, it respirates, it's live body. There are forces, round clock work in that body. The dead forces are there, its weight itself is there. Then you are staying on that, your weight is there, your goods weight is there. You are coming down, going up, there is impact weight is on that. You are dancing on that building, you are jumping on the building, you are playing on that building. All time it serves you. Why don't you understand that? It's not dead, it's live. All time it takes stresses, forces of nature, wind force, vibratory forces, sun force, sun treatment, heat treatment, heat applies on that. Variation of temperature throughout day, 50 degrees sometimes, then -4 degrees sometimes. Your building performs. You have to keep in mind, it's not dead. Just like you are living, building is also living. And soil is also working all time, because there is a water mobility in soil. Do you know that? Soil is not stationary also. It always keeps on changing in minutely, very minutely. Soil, say sandy soil, water moves through sand. There are pores in sand and water moves through that. That is called mobility of water. And when there is sand or mix of clay of sand, or there is silt, or there is some other particles, there are chemicals in that, minerals in that, everything is there, sulfates are there, salts are there, all are mixed up with, are move here and there. So chemical composition keeps on changing, water percentages keep on changing. It affects your foundation. when it comes in contact with your foundation. You must know that. This is all, philosophy of working of building. Sometimes this keeps on changing its thickness. Maybe every year comes down by 1 millimeter. How do you know? You will not know this. When you construct it, you just leave it, but it goes. When you construct it, you just compact it. Compaction we call it. We call it compaction of soil. When you fill back your foundation, you compact that soil in layers. But who does it? Have you ever seen? It just brings JVC and pour and pour. And one time you fill your soil, oh, you're happy, I have filled this. This is wrong. This is completely wrong. This is surgical operation. You have to take it carefully. When you fill back soil, it's not ordinary exercise. It is creation of body of soil. That body would help your foundation to stay, but you are just pulling it back. First and put water and it will take automatic. No, it will not. It will cheat you again. It will deceive you. That's what I'm saying. Engineering construction is not that easy. Your soil should be filled in layers. It may be 1 meter deep, 2 meters, doesn't matter. You have to fill in layers, whatever sort of soil you're using. You have to use, first of all, soil that allows water to move. It should not absorb water and swell. It should allow, like a filter. Water should move from one point to other point, so that water does not stagnate there. Soil should be there, and it should not be that fine that water takes particles of your soil itself, so it is void, it creates voids. That also you should not allow. This is a very complicated question and complicated application. You are allowing, by mismanagement, erosion of your soil from beneath foundation and from sides of foundation. This is very big quality question. Are you allowing your soil to hang? I mean to say, your foundation to hang on soil? You cannot allow that. So you have to take care of this. If your soil is not good, foundations on which your foundation soil sited on that soil on your foundation is sited, that soil should be reliable. Again, reliable means it should not say no to foundation. It should say, yes, I am ready to take your load and transfer it further down, because load is never digested by foundation and also never digested by soil. It is continuously transferred and dissipated into layers below. This is principle of foundation. All forces go down into foundation, and foundation transfers them to soil, and further it moves further and further and further, and it diminishes. It is zero. It is after that. So your soil is also a part of foundation. Soil is also a part of foundation practically. We have to be careful about this, but nobody is careful. Just fill it, and that's all. What to do then? If you cannot understand this, better don't make any building. Why to take your life on risk, your building on risk, if you want to do right, you can say, operation of those buildings, of those foundations, of the structure. Major buildings collapse, not only in our country, in many other countries. Go to China, you'll find same problem. Foundation engineering is not understood by people. They cannot understand this, because this such soil mechanics is very different subject, because we are not sure about soil. We are not sure about rock. We are not sure about contents of soil. You cannot understand it very easily. But it's not that difficult. Forget laboratory test. If you take some soil, put in water and glass and keep it for a few hours, you will find there will be different layers in that glass. Different layers you'll find in that soil. And that layer shall tell you what is composition of that soil, what is clay content, what is silt content, what is sand content. To some extent, you will know what is the nature of that soil. I have done this test many times. Many times I have done this test. It will not give you correct answer, but it will indicate something so that you can take care of that soil. If content of clay is too much or silt too much, you will see soil is very dangerous. This will cause harm to your building. If that is the case, you have to be very careful. But we are not careful. We are careless. This can happen many times. We do not want to take care of that. That's a really problem. And I like to, I have some photographs of that. I don't know where I have, but I like to show you some photograph. It's here. Still I have. Let me check. I think I missed that one somewhere. It's not. Many photographs here. I'll like to show you if I have that one. Let's go. I'll show some, for example, let me show you some quality of work they are doing. So what sort of quality of work is being done, maybe you're not clear about that. Let me show you something else. You see there's a glass, you see some color of soil. You can see this yellowish, there's water in that. I think some problems. Right. Well, I'll show you later on. No problem. It's not opening now. You can see this quality of this, of this work is being done. You can see rubbish quality everywhere. I'll show you separately, but my mobile is having some problem. Later on, I'll show you. Well, continue further. I would say I'll give you this sketch later on. Some problem in my mobile. Well, what I'm saying is it is owner who has to take care of his money, and it is engineer who has to safeguard that structure. There is no one who can help you. If you do not understand this, better waste your money, I can say that. If you want to waste your money, waste your money. Quality is very big issue. It starts with everything: material control, resources control, technical management, definition of method statements. There is a system that is called method statement, which is very important. You have to define, you have to write, or you have to decide before doing any activity what and how shall you do it. If you do not decide that, then you will be misled by people. They will mislead you and they shall like to do their way, which is not professional way. But you remember, if you follow them, you are not going to save any money also. They will expand your expenditure. You will spend more money for substandard work. That is what I want to communicate to you. If you do RCC work, that too is very qualitative work if you do it. Otherwise, it's a scrap. It is scrap otherwise. If you want to buy scrap, it's up to you. If you want to buy quality metal, it's up to you. Just like I explained to you about soil movement, this is very big risk. but people do not understand. If you try to understand that, you have to be really careful. If soil is not understood, you do not know soil behavior in which area your building is located, then you are missing a lot. You cannot simply assume something. You must test that soil. It may save your money. Of course, you may have to spend some money on test, but that will save you so many other expenses. Maybe bearing capacity of that soil is reliable. Maybe it's, if it is clay, you can remove that clay from that foundation area and replace that, which we call soil improvement. Means you have to improve properties of your soil beneath your foundation. That we call in our structural engineering soil improvement. You improve your soil, which is going to take and transfer load of your structure. If there's clay soil, there's silt soil, do not depend upon it. Yes, if it's rock, there is different consideration. If it is soft soil, we call clay soft soil. Very fine soil, it is called very fine particles. It's very minute size particle, much smaller than sand particles. It can stick to your hands if you mix with water. It can stick to your fingers. It can stick to your toe if you walk on that. So just think you have constructed building on clay soil and water moves beneath that, or rainwater enters into this, it shall become same wet. And you think, if that is so wet, can your building transfer its load through that soil? Your building shall settle, certainly it shall sink to some millimeters. Even if it sinks by 5 millimeters or 10 millimeters at one corner and 2 millimeters at other corner and 15 millimeters at third corner, you can know how shall it shall tilt in one direction or another direction, and you will say, oh, my building has tilted. It happens because of soil conduct. You did not take into your consideration replacement of soil, replacement of bad soil by good soil. So soil improvement is solution to such problems for ordinary structures. You may take out 30-40 centimeter of soil and replace it by granular material. When we say granular material, means grains, just like stone chips. We call in engineering stone aggregates, 12 mm, 20 mm, 6 mm. There are varying sizes. And dust, rock dust, or sand, or coarse sand, a combination of this can be used below foundations and remove bad soil from there, so that at least your load is transferred to strong base and from there down to your weak base. We have to keep this in mind. Soil improvement should be affected where there is a soil layer which is not reliable, which could yield in future due to water movement or due to some other reason or due to vibrations during earthquake. We have to keep in mind simple treatment in structure is not done. It should be to soil also. And if it is rock, even in that case, we should be sure that there are no cracks in rocks. It is complete detailed subject which common man cannot know, even engineers sometimes miss. I'm not blaming anybody. It depends upon that person who is expert of construction and designs. They consider that. But if they are helped, if owner says, no, I am not going to conduct soil investigation or soil exploration, how can that designer support if he does not have any backup of information? Then that person shall assume only and write on drawing that I have assumed this much property of this soil, and if it doesn't exist, I am not responsible. That engineer shall write in drawings, I have taken this much from information only. This soil can take this much load, and this has this much parameter, this angle of repose, and this and that. That person would say, it's not my responsibility because there is no soil report available. It's beyond my control. But I'm just assuming these parameters, and this design is subject to verification of these parameters. And if you don't verify these parameters, means that design is not consistent and capacity with your building. This design is not manageable for your building. There is no interface with this design and your building behavior. That point you have to make in mind. Why do we miss that? And then I was talking about backfill. You have constructed your foundation, but you have to do backfill. You have to protect your foundation first. Before construction starts, you have to protect your foundation. Means if you have even you have applied soil improvement, after that also you have to protect your foundation from impact of what? People call it waterproofing. Yes, it can be called waterproofing, but it's a combination of waterproofing and impact from soil chemicals. Dissolved chemicals in water as well as undissolved chemical in waters. This concrete surface, all concrete surface means, I know below the surface resting on soil or on concrete, and vertical surfaces all requires protection from these chemical effects. Even though concrete is there above soil, you have laid a concrete which is called blinding, you call it clean concrete, and don't use brick stones just in foundation. I have seen people using brick, small pieces, brick bats they are called. They're just ramming them with some mortar on that, dry mortar. That is not acceptable in a structural world. Use good concrete in that layer and level it properly, because your waterproof membrane is going to be laid on that. Waterproofing, which you call it, or concrete protection is going to be laid on that. That is very important. Do not play with foundation. That membrane is laid there for purpose of protection of surface of concrete and waterproofing, and once foundation is done, complete surface inside soil is wrapped by that layer, and that layer has to be protected from punctures. It may be horizontal layer or vertical layer. Both layers require protection from punctures. Horizontal layer, which you laid this bituminous membrane, that has to be protected by certain kind of mortar. Otherwise, when you work on footings, that footing still will puncture this layer. So you have to cover that membrane, and vertical surfaces you have to cover before backfill you do, because stone chips would puncture it. So be careful. You have to protect this membrane. There are so many ways. You can use some covering sheet, you can use some boarding, flexible board, some other, or you can use block masonry, or you may use, if you have good bricks, brick masonry to cover all surfaces. And what people do reverse. They first construct brick masonry or block masonry and then do foundation, which is completely illogical. Means I don't know why people run shortcuts. Why? What's the reason behind that? They are spending money, but they are not giving quality work. Okay, backfill I'm talking about. Backfill, do not take it for granted that it will automatically compact itself. No, it shall not compact itself. It shall give you voids in its body if you do not fill in layers. Because you are going to use soil backfill, not sand backfill. If you use sand backfill, this is something else, because it's very expensive. People won't use that. So you have to use graded soil. Means you have to ensure that whatever material you are filling in, it should work in grade. Means it should give you as much package as possible. There should be no loose particles in that. If you pack it, that's called compaction. Every layer you lay, you have to compact that layer with water sprinkling and let it a little dry and compact. And there is a standard test for this. That's a Proctor density test, or you can field density test. There is a soil test. In comparison to that, we compare this test result. This test result should give you laboratory test comparison. Means when you tested your soil, there is a report which is considered a standard one, and in comparison to that, soil is tested on site. It should give you 98% achievement of that standard test. If you are going to use it for structural purposes, if your structure is going to rest on that soil, compacted soil, it should be 98% field dry density. If it is not, you cannot found. This is not acceptable. If it's general, means it's not, no structure is going to stand on that, and it can be 95%. And if just walkway is there, it can be even less than that. But when it is a structural, when there's a building on that, there's a structure on that, it must be 98% minimum compaction, proper compaction value. If it does not, it's not acceptable. You might not be knowing this, but this is very significant. It doesn't take much time to test this. On site itself, laboratory guy would tell you this much percentage is there. They will test it further in laboratory, but on site there will declaration that we have achieved this much, and you can continue next fill on that. So 20 centimeter or 200 millimeter dry layer to 150 millimeter compacted layer, that is called fill. And if this, for example, 1 meter you have to fill, it would be 7 layers or 6 layers you have to fill in and compact. That is real backfill. And that backfill, don't be happy with that. It will take another 50, 40, 30 years for that backfill to be completely converted to solid, because when you compact it, it is flexible. It is packed material, but this packed material shall become automatically like a stone in many decades to come. And that property we call consolidation. One is compaction, that is currently done. One is consolidation, which is done automatically in coming decades. It may take sometime 30 years, sometimes 40 years, sometimes 50 years for 100% consolidation. Means density of your soil is automatically increased in coming times. And when you make a new building on consolidated soil, you are disturbing that soil. Just remember, when you excavate consolidated soil, you are disturbing its natural properties. You have to remember that. So undisturbed soil should be used for construction of foundation, but because we excavate that, we disturb that nature of consolidation. This means we have to compact it again. We have to improve it if it's required. Means we are going to use natural imbalance by excavating. And people think it's very strong when they use excavator, or even by manual excavation, we disturb natural property of soil. So we have to therefore take care of foundation. Even if there was plot, it was consolidated one, maybe it took 50 years, but we are disturbing that. This point we have to make into our layers in mind, that consolidation and compaction are related. Term itself is telling pack it, that's called compact. Pack all particles of soil to maximum dry density. Means pack as much as possible in one unit of soil so that it takes less time for its solidification. That is called consolidation. These are very technical points that everybody misses. Everybody misses. As much compacted it is, means it shall give voids minimum. There shall be minimum pores in your soil volume. And minimum pores means minimum or reduced flow of water. As minimum it is, water shall reduce in quantity to flow through that. This means water flow shall be limited, and chances of that water to affect your soil and structure will be limited. And if you don't compact, you are inviting that water to impact your soil, erode it, and impact your foundation, go below your footing and settle soil. Just keep this point in mind. Do not take every activity lightly, what contractor says or what you think is right. I talk to many people, they say, oh, I did this, I just fill this soil and one hose was kept in that, so automatically it will be filled in. This is not milk. This is not tea that you will make in your kitchen and drink. This is your body of future. Your building is going to rest. Why these flyovers settle? Why this building settle? Because of one reason. Soil is not. Why building is China collapsed? Because soil was not taken care of this. Here soil was not taken care of this. It happens because of political reasons, because of rush on job. Oh, we want this project in so many months. Because of that, and people got into panic. People get into panic and they destroy complete engineering. This is a part of application of work, application of activity, and therefore it's a part of quality also. So quality system is not that easy as people think it is. It's not that easy. Soil is very dangerous material, and unfortunately all structures rest on soil. It can be building, it can be flyover, it can be metro, it can be road, it can be, you can say, canal, it can be dam, whatever. Everything rests on soil. If soil is not taken care of, you have to suffer somewhere. You might have seen certain manholes collapse, certain sewer lines collapse. You think, oh, it has caved in. Yes, they say it is caved in, but nobody knows how caved in. And if they know it, they would not tell you, because journalists will make fun of this. So they don't even declare how it has happened. Okay, we have constituted a team. This committee shall take care of it. What shall committee would do in that? Just tell me, what shall they investigate? If it has caved in, means caved in. There is some void, there's some gap where there's no soil. That's why it's caved in. Simple. Water has leaked, sewage has leaked, or whatever has leaked into that. It's softened that soil and soil has caved in. Simple answer. What investigation is required? Only politics. Blame game. Nobody was serious when this work was done. Nobody was serious at that time. But we have done it because we can do everything. When philosophy is removed, when there is no value to thinking, there is no think tank, such results come out. And unfortunately, this type of absence of duty has gone to foreign countries also now. You can see so many results coming in from various France. Oh, there's a collapse of building, there's overturning of building, even from Italy, even from so many other countries. Because that spread of negligence has reached everywhere. We have become oriented of computers. We are, no, computer would help me, no problem. How shall computer help you? Tell me, shall computer compact your soil? It will not. But only absence of your mind. You are not interested to read documents. Current era says don't read documents, don't read information, don't read anything, and do it. It's happening. People are not serious. Students are not serious. So many information is available, so much information. This compaction is, it's this compaction I'm talking about, this consultation I'm talking. This is a big chapter in construction engineering. But if you study that, only, then it's useful. You cannot say this is something I'm talking from another planet. No, it's not from another planet. This is available, and not today. It has been there since beginning of construction. It happens, but no, we will not do. We will not do it because British have to tell us, or Americans have to tell us. Only then we can do it. This is our nature. And you don't think Americans are very intelligent or British are very intelligent. They are same, no difference. Only color difference. Mind is same. Yes, only difference is they are little careful. That's all. They will not allow you if they know it. And here, even if you know it, you will allow it. And from leave it here, let it happen. This happens. Ignorance, carelessness, there's no solution to that. You are allowing building to collapse in future and let people die within that building reside. You are not responsible for them. You are not responsible for them. Unfortunately, this happens. Owner wants to sell immediately that building. He doesn't care because he has to run away after taking money. And you shall also leave that site and go away. Who is sufferer? That guy who uses that building as occupant, that person will suffer. So you are happy. That's why I'm stressing quality management. It's not soil alone. It's concrete. Do you know concrete? Many times I explained and I keep on explaining because concrete involves 70-80% of cost of structure. Without concrete, nothing is possible in this world. Bricks forget bricks. Stones forget stones. Because ultimately concrete is a stone. Brick is not a stone, remember. Brick is just clay, molding of clay, chikni mitti, molding of clay, black cotton soil, and burning it. That is product. It's called brick. It is much less in test. It's porous. It's overburnt. It's not good in tension and much less useful in compression. So both ways it's rubbish. If you do in foundation, use in foundation, you are going to spoil your foundation. If you are going to use in superstructure, you are going to make hell with your superstructure. You either use machine bricks, quality bricks, which are very expensive. So better use concrete. Concrete is artificial stone if it is properly produced. And in combination, reinforcement bars or so-called steel bars are used. So it is called reinforced cement concrete. That is a material, a combination of both related material. Steel is used because steel is useful and it moves in same pattern. Expansion of concrete and steel are same. They move together when heat applies on them. When heat applies on them, there's expansion which can't be seen, but there is expansions in millimeter. These materials expand together almost. So there is no difference of opinion between two materials. They talk together, they walk together. So we use combination of concrete and steel reinforcement, carbon steel. Concrete is good in dabaw, in compression, but steel is good in compression as well as tension. Concrete is not good in tanav tension, but steel can take that part. You may be knowing when there is a shortage of armed forces on borders, they send us, there's some loss of armed forces and the people have been left or have been sacrificed, or you can say they lost their lives. Send more people. They use some reinforcement of those people who have sacrificed their lives. We want more soldiers. This is meaning of reinforcement. There is requirement of tensile forces or tension to be taken care of, and for that we use steel. This is the reason behind that. But steel should be still not rusted steel. Unfortunately, our people are rusting it. I don't understand the reason behind that. They are bringing good steel from factory, and moreover they are acting over smart. They are transporting it using trucks, and they bend these bars. Beautiful engineering. This 12 meters long, 14 meters long, they bend it to place in truck, and they are happy, and truck driver is getting job. What you are doing? This great bar, beautiful shining bar from factory tar steel, you received by paying money, and you're bending it. What for? Because you can take it easily to your site. You never think on that. Once you bend it, you are already worked on this. That bent portion has been worked upon. and then you bring it to side and straighten it again and become very strong. Oh, I have straight bar, and then you cut it again and bend it again. Is this not fooldom? Are we fools? Really? Everywhere I have seen this. My goodness. Why are you beating yourself? You don't understand what steel is. You don't understand there is so many minerals in that. You don't understand that. So many chemical composition is there. This is carbon steel. It can be worked only once. When you are bending it and straightening it, second-hand steel. It is used steel. Why don't you understand this? Did you pay for used steel? And then you have brought them and put on side, throw it on soil itself. All right, you are a great person. You have so much money, you can throw your money on soil. Throw it. What happens next day? Oh, at night there was 70% humidity, relative humidity. Next day it was 80% humidity. And third day there was some rain on that. And you find all red color of that steel. Your steel is so beautiful. It was silver lining and now it is red color. And after 2 or 3 days, we'll find complete red color on that because of red oxide, because of oxidation of that steel. This means you are allowed that steel for future corrosion, rusting, and you are happy my steel has become red and is lying there for many years, been lying there, no problem, 1 week, 2 weeks, let it lie there, water may accumulate, and then use it on building. What a great procedure. What a great achievement in this country, great technology. Nobody thinks, architect never comes, structural engineer never comes, and promoter doesn't bother. And what to say about the steel fixer? They will use it, their paint. And you embed that rust into your concrete. Just imagine what a surgery you have done. What a surgery you have done. You have taken rubbish steel into your beautiful concrete and destroyed concrete also. Because this surface of concrete, steel, which is red one, this is already loose and it shall never bond with concrete and it will, you can say, yield sometime. We cannot take care of steel. How shall we take care of concrete, which you are going to produce on site? Thanks that at least steel you are getting from industry of steel factory. It's product material, it's produced material, control material. There's a temperature control, there's a heat treatment on that, there's everything control, but you cannot understand that control. You don't even know what strength it can take. You have reduced that metal to half use. And then you cannot buy good steel. You cannot use it trailer for transport. You can't use that. You will not use it because you have to pay something more. And when you bring it to site, can't you keep on a good platform? Can you make some wooden timber platform or some brick platform or some other dry platform so that on this you can keep your bars and cover them with some polythene sheet? This much you cannot do. You'll say, what this man is saying, I have to cover with polythene sheet. Am I fool? I have to spend money on that. It happened with me practically. It happened with me. I went to a steel fixer yard, asked me, I want you to fabricate my steel. He said, okay, I will do it. I'll charge this much. All right. I asked him a question. How shall you protect my steel? What are you talking? I am asking you a question. Tell me, how shall you protect my steel? I never protect this. I don't know what you are talking of. I asked him, there is water, there's moisture in air, there's water from rain, and I don't want that moisture or water to touch my steel. He was laughing. I never heard this. If you never heard this, this is my mistake. It's your mistake. You are a traditional, you are working on a professional way, you are delivering fabricated steel for building, for structures. You do not know this? Okay, no problem. I want this to cover every time with plastic sheet. He was laughing. Oh, what you are talking? Oh, shut up. If you want, tell me. I will deliver plastic myself. You don't have to pay for that. You have to keep my bars covered all time. Here, fabricated one other one, and on site also both. He did not accept. Get lost. I don't want your services. Thank you very much. What is? It's done everywhere. Only in this country it's not done because we are extra advanced country. We know technology more than world knows. If you cannot do this, use different type of, still simple. Either use protection element, don't allow rust on steel, don't believe in what these television channels advertise say, use this cement and you will not get rusted. Nonsense they talk all time. It is carbon steel. It is not stainless steel. It's not galvanized steel. It will certainly rust. Even at one night you're exposed to moisture, it will start rusting. And if it starts rusting one time, it will rust continuously. And there's no connection, no relation between steel and concrete. So what's purpose of your rebars? What's purpose of a steel? This point we cannot understand. It's very layman point. There is no engineering in this. What is engineering there? No consideration of engineering. But we will not take care of that. Because we are Bharatvasis. We are extraordinary. We can spend many crores, many lakhs on steel procurement, but few thousands we want to save. We want to save half, till 20, 15, 20, 30 minutes just to cover it by plastic and put some stone pieces on that. And same thing you do on site when you covered it. But that we cannot do. That's very difficult. How can I spend money on that? Here we have to change our mindset. Don't use steel if you want to rust it. Same thing as I said about the backfill. I said about soil. This is very important material in concrete, RCC. Or there's an alloy. I don't know that steel is available here or no. That is called epoxy coated reinforcement steel. Epoxy. You can use epoxy coated steel otherwise. Can you use that? Inquire if it's not available. If it's available, use epoxy coated steel. Means there is epoxy coating on all steel which will not allow effect of moisture on that. But only difference is when there's overlap on these bars. Because there's one way to do this and connect them with some coupler, or there's a way used this way which is called overlapping. When you are overlapping, this will little increase in epoxy coat, otherwise there is no other change. And don't use overlap on bars more than 20 mm diameter. Thick bars, don't use overlap, use connectors. There's a connection here, a mechanical connector, and use like this. For bars 20 mm or more, if you use this, this will not work perfectly. There are certain technologies consideration. That is called mechanical connector for higher dia bars. Better avoid use of higher dia bars in ordinary buildings. When your column to column is 3 meters or 4 meters, do not use higher diameter bars. Try to use 12 mm by 12 mm tor or maximum 16 mm. Don't go beyond that, because that's not workable for, you're not easily workable in overlapping or in fabrication. It causes problems. Lesser dia good for concrete reason. For example, if you are using 20 mm diameter, you just calculate what is circumference of that. You know circumference formula, pi d. You can find that pi d 3.14 into diameter, what is answer. And you can calculate square centimeter of that bar. You have to reduce that bar from 20 to 12 mm and see how many bars can be For example, there are 12 bars you are using or 6 bars. How many lesser diameter bars can be used? You use lesser diameter bar because circumference of lesser diameter is more than higher diameter bars. So you can increase bond strength between two. Lesser size bar allows you more connection, more bonding between steel and concrete. This is concrete, this is steel. It's give you more friction, more bonding if you still use lesser dia steel. This point you have to understand. Forget higher dia bar in ordinary structures. No use of that. And moreover, when number of bars are more in column or in beam and spread on its surface, it will give you better protection against thermal stresses and heat. It will give you better spread of forces. It will avoid local concentration of forces. There are so many reasons which we can say. So don't take concrete technology very easily. Cover. You know what is cover? Cover means a distance within concrete from surface of concrete to steel surface. That is called clear cover. A cover means, again, surface of concrete. This is this column. This is my surface. Here is my bar. This is a gap here. That gap is called cover. This is in horizontal or in vertical, both it is. In slab also there is cover. In foundation there is cover. In columns there is cover. In beams, everywhere it is. This means name itself says cover. We also call this spacer. Let us say cover, a common name. It covers concrete, steel and concrete both. It covers concrete, steel as well as concrete both from what? From impact of water and from impact of fire, from impact of heat. This point you have to keep in mind. When there is heat, it takes some time for heat to travel within this cover of maybe 20 mm, 30 mm, 40 mm, 60 mm, whatever it is. It varies from foundation to other beams and columns and slab. It varies. Whatever is given there, that will be known on your drawing. It will be written by your structural engineer that you use 50 mm cover in foundation or 60 mm cover in foundation or 40 mm cover in your column or 30 mm cover in the beams or 20 mm cover in slab. Whatever is required, that shall be written there. And when there is water in that structure, it will be more than that. So the purpose of this cover is to reduce penetration of water through concrete to steel and reduce impact of fire as well as heat. That is purpose of cover. We call it a spacer, but it's cover. This cover is very important. People just play with this. They take this all steel and column and they disturb everything. They think it's compacted as well as covered. No, you have disturbed concrete. You completely disturb concrete, disturb bond after vibration. They do this. This cover is also available in plastic. You can say polyethylene shape. But better is just cast it on site. Your masons must know how to cast covers. Only a framing is required of thickness of cover and just put in good concrete chip or good mortar equal to strength of concrete, and they call it biscuits or something in their language, and wire, you can say put binding wire in that so you can tie it to steel rebars. That is best one. This cover is very important in every member. It may be foundation, it may be column, it may be beam or slab or whatever. If you don't use it, you are subjecting your member to fire effect. Fire says your building should stay at least for 2 hours safe before fire tenders reach your site. If it is 2 hours, it's best one. Where if it's 1 hour also, but you have to think you are not going to spend much on that. You are going to increase thickness of cover only. It will help you because at certain temperature concrete collapses and at certain temperature steel refuses to work. There are temperatures. Fire can give you 1500 degrees sometimes. So temperature of concrete and temperature of steel both are considerable. There is a power to resist heat in concrete as well. First, concrete will resist. That thickness of cover shall help to transfer power from column surface or beam surface to concrete. Maybe 20 mm, 30 mm, 40 mm. It shall take that time. And that surface which receives this fire, that shall reduce the strength and further reduce the strength, but internal portion shall be stronger, remember. And in that case, it is called, according to European codes, reduced section. That reduced section, within a rectangular column there will be elliptical surface that will be stronger than the external area of column. So this will allow building to stay for that duration. So be careful about that. Heat doesn't invite you, it automatically comes. Thermal power from heat, from fire doesn't ask you, it automatically comes. So this cover is better there. Use cover which is given in your drawing. Do not worry about anything. Use it properly. So that is one point I told you. It's a part of quality control of concrete. And concrete. Now this is about steel. I told you your steel should be fine. As I explained to you, you have to take care of steel that way. You have to take cover that way. These are two important parameters you have to consider in your concrete technology. Then production of concrete. You may take it from batching plant or ready mix concrete, use RMCs you call, or you may produce on site. It is up to you, but don't mix it manually on ground. That is not permissible. For bad concrete, you may use that somewhere for development work or something external work, but for structural work, hand mixing is not permissible because people don't know how to mix with hand. Wave batching is best answer. Batching means BATCHING. This means proportioning of concrete ingredients. And concrete ingredients means aggregate, stone chips you call them, varying sizes, 20 mm nominal, 12 mm nominal, 6 mm, varying sizes are available. We have to use mixture of that, and coarse sand. It can be rock dust, it can be pit sand, or whatever sand is available, and their cementing material. I am not calling cement because it is cementing material, which combines all these ingredients with cement and water there. These are components, ingredients of cement, aggregate and water, which mix together, and this is called wet concrete. There are ratios we have to think of, we have to design, we have to decide what's weight of aggregate of this size, what's weight of aggregate of this size, and what's weight of sand or rock dust this side. That can be taken care of in 1 cubic meter of concrete. 1 cubic meter means 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, 1 meter this way, 1 meter this way, 1 meter this way. That cube, we take that unit into our calculations. That much, how should it, means what should be varying weights of these proportional ingredients that must give a strength. There can be M25 concrete, M30 concrete, M35. What are these actually? You must know that. These are grading of concrete. These are compressive strength of concrete on 28 days. Today you cast, on 28 days, this mix should give you this much strength. When I say 25, it is Newton, or it is 250 kilogram. It's like that. 25 Newton. Newton means it's a unit in standard international SI units. This means Newton per millimeter square. Millimeter square. That should give you this much result. Or it is 250 kilogram per centimeter square. That is measurement. That is called compressive strength of concrete. So this grade means this much strength should be there, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and more and more and more. But in buildings generally we use up to 35, in rare cases 40. It doesn't mean cement quantity is more in that. It's not exactly. You think, oh, you add more cement. cement is also limited to be added. You cannot add unlimited cement. It's grading of these materials that I told you, aggregates, this fine material, water cement, and cementing material. Cementing material, you have to keep in mind, it's not cement exactly I am telling cementing material and supplementary cementing materials, which are different things. One is cement. We used to use OPC on old days, ordinary Portland cement, ordinary Portland cement. That was Baba Adam ke Jamana technique. That is gone. OPC was there. Now whatever cement you are receiving, that contains certain PFA, that is called pulverized fly ash, PFA, pulverized fly ash. Some content of that are added, so that some, you can say, better management of cement is done in its reactions. Cementing material means, if you are OPC, we want to reduce use of OPC by other materials, that is called supplementary cementing materials, and PFA is one of that. GGBS in another one. GGBS, what is that? That is slag. Slag that received from iron flourishing factory, from iron extraction plant. Slag, that is long term. This is glass, this is galvanized, no, glass, granulated fiber. This is ground, means these granulated fibers are there. Ground, granulated, blast furnace, slag it is called. You need not remember this term, just remember in short GGBS. One is PFA, one is GGBS, and another is microsilica MS. These are three prime materials which are known as supplementary cementing materials. These are used as part of cement in combination with cement, not independently. PFA is lowest profile, GGBS is higher profile, and MS is very high profile, but that is very expensive. Microsilica means, when you smoke particles come. That smoke particle, actually you can say, is size of microsilica. That smoke particles enters into cement OPC and coats that cement particle. This cementing material, microsilica, allows to enter into cement and coat every cementing particle. You understand what I'm saying? This penetrates into cement and controls it. Same way, GGBS is little lesser to microsilica, but it takes care of cementing material in a better way when it combines with OPC. And low PFA, this pulverized fly ash, it's on lesser profile. We have to keep in mind that we have to take care of environment also. Environment, carbon dioxide and methane in air, dangerous gases. Carbon dioxide we are adding to air every day, every hour, every minute when we drive. And when you burn something which is not allowed, you are supporting air to pollute further. You are helping in that pollution. Every time, everyone is responsible. We are doing that. And all these methane gases which cows, buffalo, they release, it's all methane gases they are getting there. No problem. I can't help it, you can't help it. But cement, if you use OPC, is 50 kilogram bag. Everybody knows. When it comes in contact with water, this chemical reaction, and it releases 46 kilogram carbon dioxide. Every bag of cement, when in contact with water and this material, there is a release of 46 kilogram carbon dioxide, and that you are helping atmosphere to pollute. You are supporting that. You are happy with that? How much cement you are using every day? Millions of bags of cements are used every day all over the world. Means you are helping air to pollute further and further and further. But if you use GGBS, which is not very expensive, I think lesser to cost of cement, if you use that material in combination with cement, you can replace up to 70% of cement by using GGBS. Means 70% that impacting material, that carbon dioxide producing material is out, and this material goes in and mixed up with that, ground with that. You are saving 80% carbon dioxide from going to environment. Which one you would like? You would like air to pollute or use GGBS? Unfortunately, people here are unaware of that. PFA they are using to some extent, I appreciate that, but PFA is lesser profile. It cannot help you to that one. It cannot be ground further. There's a limit, but GGBS can be ground. You know why I'm talking of grinding? Because cement is ground material. You know, fineness of cement, how if you just take cement into your finger, you'll see, oh, it's stuck into your cement, and it's very fine material, finer than your stone, finer than your coarse particle, fine particle. And if you just spread cement, small cement on your table or somewhere else, you will find it covers a lot of area. As much area it covers, that is called property of cement in positive way. Because it is fine particles, it can take more coverage. As fine it is, it's better. Same way, microsilica is finer than that. It's finer than cement particle, and same GGBS. So you have to think on this. But here it's absent. There are benefits of that. What benefits are there? First of all, ultimate strength is same. If you use OPC, ordinary cement, or you use GGBS based cement, ultimate strength on it is on 28 days, and that is little less, but it covers that. Both are equal, but working is different. OPC takes early strength but gives you crack. You know, when you pour it, you can say, when you say I am pouring slab and you finishing that, you will find after that some cracks, minor cracks in that. But you don't notice that. These hair cracks and shrinkage cracks, we call in engineering shrinkage cracks. In GGBS, you will avoid that to much extent. This cracking will be controlled because this is low reaction concrete. It reacts slowly, not very rapidly. When there's rapid movement, there's crack. Means much heat is produced between cement and aggregate and water reaction. Rapid reaction means cracking, higher temperature, because concrete is linked to temperature controls. We should know that. We are not aware about that. Concrete is a chemical body. It's a chemical composite material. It's not organic material. We have to understand this point. Concrete is mineral. It is chemical, inorganic chemical. And what we eat, food, that is organic. This does not change immediately. This does not decompose, but organic material decomposes. So we have to be very careful, but heat impacts that. Aggregate, sand, cement, water, these all react together and generate heat to do chemical reaction. And this heat means it evaporates water from cement itself, from concrete mix itself. That water which we are called water cement ratio, whatever 50 kilogram cement bag we are using, this means they say don't use more than 0.35 water cement ratio. This means 0.35, if you multiply by 50 kilogram, you have to use maximum that water into one mix of cement bag. If you use more than that, you are going to harm concrete. And if you are going to use lesser that, you may not be able to produce working concrete that can easily be worked, depending upon which element it is. If it's a slab or it's beam or it's column, it depends upon that. I already talked to you about that, where to take slump and all that, how to work best into that molding form work. That can be slab, that can be column, that can be beam. These are very common words I'm using. These are not technical or engineering terms I'm using. I am using very communicative terms that you can easily understand. So what I was talking about, temperature of concrete. Concrete has a affinity to heat. If you bring it too cold, -0, it's no concrete, it cannot work for you. If you take it more than 32 or 35, it cannot work for you. Remember, concrete temperature varies from 5 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius in controlled condition. If you use that concrete molding or pouring, that time when you're pouring it, this range should be measured. You should check concrete temperature. It should not be freezing one and should not be firing one. These two ranges, generally I am saying, it's from international specifications. Value is 4 degrees, let's say 5 degrees on safer side and 32 degrees Celsius on other safer side. If this range is between this, your temperature is this is acceptable. And if it's more than that, your weather temperature is say 40 degrees or 45 degrees, you should not do concrete in that weather, because you will spoil concrete. And if it's 0 degrees or 2 degrees, don't do it. Simple. There is other alternatives for it. In Europe, where it's cold, you think concrete is done. But they use steam mixing, not water mixing. In place of water, they use steam to mix concrete so that temperature is raised. And when it's too hot, they use ice in mixing so that temperature is controlled. There are variations in mixing methods which we are not aware of. Here, because temperature is permissible, it's for us, we never care about that. But we are there, it is not, they are caring about this. In Gulf countries, it's always hot. It's always hot generally. So what they do concrete at night or early morning when temperature is within limits, and when it's too hot and it's unavoidable to do concrete, they either shed that area and add ice to water. They do whatever they want if it's urgent. Otherwise, generally concrete is done in night hours. This is general way. But here, people are not even clear about this. You go and see some concrete is lying mixed up, people go for lunch, they don't care, they come back and add some water into that, mix up and use again. Because of lack of information. I have talked to many experienced engineers in this country who have never been abroad for experience. One man was 25 years. Now, I have 25 years experience, my some known. I asked him only this question. Do you know about concrete temperature? He said, I never heard. 25 years experience engineer, BTech, civil. I never heard this. Now what do you expect, tell me? If our engineers only on certificate for posting on wall, what answer I can give? Engineering does not mean certificate. Engineering means work. If you can deliver work, you are engineer. If post qualification you can deliver work, you are engineer, or else you are nothing. This point we do not realize. We very proudly say, oh, I have BTech and I have MTech and I'm PhD in this, I'm that, I'm postdoctoral. Yes, you are postdoctoral, but in papers only, not for delivery of engineering product and building and structures are engineering product. You have not delivered that perfectly. How can you say engineer? This means your professors did not teach you that, because professors are not working on site. It's not their fault. in our country, professors are appointed based on academic degrees and teaching experience, not based on practical experience. That is only difference. Every professor must have exposure to site for at least 5 to 10 years. Otherwise, there is no use of that professor. Only theoretical one, academic one. That person will teach you every application of designs and theory, everything, but you have to learn everything on site. If you are not mastered site, do not take risk, do not give risk, better. And this is happening. Engineers are more interested in designs, they are more interested in planning, they are more interested in monitoring, but they are not interested in working in sun, in working in heavy temperature, heavy moisture, because relative humidity is 90%, 85% is heavy moisture. They are not interested to work in that. I don't know reason. They should be all weather workers, but they are only AC workers. They need one room which is air conditions, where they should computer and work on your softwares and produce designs and deliver, and their job is over. It's like same thing, you go to your doctor, it's okay, go and test this x-ray, you take x-ray and go and deliver, and your job is over. Doctor job is over there. After having gone through x-rays and test reports, his job, doctor job is over? No. So you are also a doctor of your activity, but you are not doing your job. You are avoiding site, you are only interested in AC room and talk on various codes and designs. That is a requirement, I understand, but that is not only requirement. That requirement must be done. Otherwise, your design is waste, because you are caring for design. You are thinking a lot. You are thinking many times than I can think or foreman can think. You are taking into considerations various factors. But that guy is on site. That guy is ill aware of that. That doesn't consider that. That person is so smart, he can add water to mixed concrete itself because of easy working on that. Have you ever thought of this? Never. Well, I'm not blaming you guys because this is not your profession. I'm just trying to inform what is done. Public should know it. Our technology should reach public. They should know what should happen. So I was talking about temperature of concrete. It is very important. If you destroy this control, you will destroy the structure of concrete itself. Atomic structure of concrete you will destroy. You say, where atomic structures come? Of course, this is atomic structure. There is stone aggregate. There are electrons in that. Minerals are there. Aggregates, sand is there. Rock is there. Water is there. Cement is there. How many types of chemical compositions are there? This is a composite material, and more top of that there is reinforcing steel. So how many inert materials, how many reactive materials are there? Just think of how many chemical compositions are there. All work in concrete or don't work in concrete? Have you thought on this? Never. So many materials are there, and this water leaves that material after its work is over. This water which you added to this mix, when this mix solidifies, it gets hardened. Water shall not remain there. It shall run away, it shall evaporate. That's also a question mark. If water runs away, how shall this continue to work? Because it works up to years to get more and more strength. First 28 days it works, and before that first 7 days it works. When we test it after 7 days, then after 28 days, means 7 days, and then 21 days more, 48 days, and then we stop testing, but it continues to take its strength further and further. So how will you make sure if water runs away, if evaporates from that hard concrete, means there is a deficiency. There's a, you can say, disease in concrete at that time, it cannot work further. So for that disease, prescription is you have to cure that concrete. You have to cure that concrete. This is curing, means there is a fault in concrete, deficiency in concrete, and you have to fill back, you have to replenish that loss of by evaporation and add water to concrete, hard material, so that its chemical reaction continues. That's why we cure concrete. You may call it curing water. No, this is try. Try, you call it try. Curing is try. You keep concrete wet all time for 7 days, 8 days, 10 days. That is minimum required, and after that it continues because water particle remains there and it doesn't need much water. That's in general called curing. It can be any element, you have to cure that, but method of curing is different in every member. It's a professional way we have to do it. So these are requirements of concrete. When you cast it, you have to cast it properly. Casting means when you are pouring it from your pump or from your winch or whatever way, it should be poured correctly. That is very important. Still you have used. Shuttering is very important, which people do not care about. I have seen these used planks they bring and bullies or wooden supports they bring, and they prepare their formwork. We call formwork in our language. This actually shuttering, and they just use as if it's no value, no control of levels, no control of anything. Just they use as if it is layman job. They don't understand shape, size of your concrete. They don't understand what benefit it gives you. Water, slurry, cement water comes out from joints. Nobody cares. They are using these supports, pulleys this way, this way, this way, as if it is not, it's just a pakoda, it's just a teacup. You mix how much sugar. Nonsense. You are not using system correctly. There is every system defined. You are not caring for that. You are not caring for size. You are not caring for your plumb. You are not caring for level. You are not caring for cover. You are not caring for temperature. You are not caring for mix-up. You are not caring for cement. After all, what you are caring for? Just do it. That's it. Where is quality then? Where is control then? Where is system then? Your money is going to water, I'm telling you. It's going completely waste. You are making scrap in your house. It's a scrapped house if you're not having any control. Your contractor is cheating you. Your builder is cheating you. You are cheating yourself. You are thinking everything is fine. After all, it is your money. That's why I say, if you want to buy vegetable, you see what quality of vegetable is, but you don't want to see quality of millions of rupees you are going to spend on your building. So who is at fault? Who is at fault? Tell me. Did you find any structural engineer or any engineer on any project? Did you see ever? Did you talk to someone? You never have talked to anyone because you don't care about that. And this architect community in our country is great. For them, everything is okay. Everything is okay for them. Lining on drawings, elevations on drawing do not work for building. Structure, if it is bad, everything is bad. Remember, all your millions and crores of rupees you spend on stone, finishing, flooring, walling, or whatever decoration, these all do not work if your structure goes waste. Do not work. Building construction is not that easy as we consider in our country. It's not that easy. It's not layman job. It's completely professional job. Just think on, if you miss curing, what I said, try. If you miss curing, what is solution? Just think of. You forget curing or you do very little. Okay, one day we do it, leave it. After that, if you do not get a strength of concrete according to your grade, as we talked of 35, 25, whatever it is. If you do not achieve that strength of concrete in test, which you never conduct, I know, but if you conduct or don't conduct, strength is a question mark. If you do not get that, what shall be result? Have you ever thought of that? This means your concrete is nothing but just soil, nothing. Your structure can fail any time. Means it is nothing but a graveyard. It is going to work to refuse its services to you one day, and you will not even notice that. This is very serious matter. As far as design is serious, this is more serious than design. Design is very good. You have good, very good. You delivered, your designer delivered you everything. Everything is delivered, but you have spoiled everything. I always write to designers, your design is excellent, you have done a lot on that, but that person on site who's doing his worst. There is no correlation between two. That person working on site is layman. That person does not understand your mindset. That person does not understand anything. It just takes your drawing and does accordingly what he wants. And because you are never coming to see that, you don't know, oh, I have delivered design, my job is it. You just put a stamp, I'm not responsible for this, and your duty is over. By a disclaimer you put on that drawing, your duty is over. But what about that honor? It's fault of honor if honor is not taking service of that engineer. This is the different issue. But ultimately, who is losing? It's not honor losing alone. Natural material is being abused. This is natural resource. Cement is composed of limestone and silica and chemicals. It's natural. Stone aggregates are composed from rock, brought from rocks by mining. This is natural. Sand also comes from natural sources. Water comes from natural sources. Everything is natural resource that we are putting into fire. Why don't we realize this fact? I'm blaming myself and honor. You are interested in making money. Some owner says, oh, I am not going to stay in this house. I will just dispose it. This is my investment. I am surprised. You are only concerned with your investment. You are not concerned with that person, occupant, who shall use this. I will sell it. I am not concerned. Somebody else will buy it and let him suffer. This is concept. Surprise is just like Ansar did. They didn't take care of fire in their cinema house and it was set on fire automatically. It was ablaze. Who is responsible? It is your initiative. You are green. You are giving green signal for people to die because of your act. Yes, it is your money. You are taking risk of money on others' shoulders. Let that person die, I don't care. I should make money of my profit. You are making profit and that person is dying. So you are indirectly going to kill that person or not? You are responsible indirectly, naturally. Why don't you take precautionary measure then? Why don't you guarantee your product? Virtually, not in writing, I'm saying at least. Your conscience allows you this. You think of, you are asking conscious. If your structure is going to fail, fall, ultimately it's your loss. You may not be honored at that time, somebody is honored, but that person's lost. So you are playing with lives of people. A doctor plays with life of one patient, but you are playing with life of community. Because of your negligence, you just have interest in profit, nothing else. What that worker should do then? What should I do then? Architect is interested in beautification, in very big elevation, very technical elevation. Worker is interested in easy work. You are interested in easy profit. So who is interested in life of that building? No one. This means we are constructing devils in form of buildings. We are producing devils. Yes, it is devil we are producing, because there is no guarantee. It can cheat every time, it can deceive you, and it can work as graveyards, and we don't feel any degree of shame on us. Why don't we control this? Major element on buildings is concrete, RCC, or structural steel. Structural steel is not that much risky, however, I can say, because that is used in industrial projects, in factories, in others, and it's different type of work. It's not directly related to human lives, because humans generally stay in RCC houses or brickwork houses. Brickwork houses are very rare these days. You cannot say actually. RCC is a dominating factor and which must be taken care of, but we hardly take care of that due to our ill information or due to our lack of understanding of this. And I will blame everybody, myself, my fraternity, public, and all those who are, you can say, municipalities and authorities who are sometimes responsible for building permits and supervision controls, and those engineers and architects. All are components of this society, all are members of the society, and they all are responsible to some extent. And institutions on top of that, our institutions, they are also responsible. Universities also responsible, because they are not delivering well equipped engineers, well equipped architects. They are not delivering that. They are only examining to their confinement, not to general use. So blame can be given to everybody, but a responsibility shared by none. Promoter is not responsible because he has to make money. He runs away after that. He doesn't take any responsibility. Ultimate sufferer is user, occupant of that building, because that person is interested in getting delivery of that apartment or house, not interested in quality of that. Oh, if I raise questions of quality, this person will cancel my allotment, this person will not give you delivery. That that point of worry always occupies the mind of this customer. Means quality is distanced, delivery is important. And because that user also may not be real user, that may sell to someone else, so no one is actually concerned, and that is why quality is falling every day. For example, like the rainwater boxes they are constructing in this city, that is for public, but nobody is doing anything. Let them do whatever they want. Let them do whatever they want. Public works are going on everywhere, nobody cares. To let them do something. Means if you get something, you are happy. Let it. Today you cast that pavement. After 6 months, you break it again for pipeline, for sewer line, for water line, and do it again. Then break it next year again and do it again. This has been going on like this. Wastage of material, wastage of money, waste of natural resources. Everything is being wasted every day, and ultimately it affects your budget, state budget, and central budget. This is the state of affairs in our country because of this reason. But at least you can take care of your house which you are going to construct. That is in your domain. That is not in others' domain. You two are ignorant. See, everybody is earning. Industry that gives you steel, they earn. Industry that give you cement, they earn. Industries or this minings, or you can say crushers that give you aggregate, they earn. Everybody earns. Contractor earns, promoter earns. Only loser you are, who's the owner. Architect is getting money. If you employ engineer, engineer is getting money. Who is loser? Only owner of that project, who spends money on that. That person is loser. And that person is not loser if that person sells it further to real user. So that end user is sufferer. So many people have enjoyed just on shoulders of one end user. In this society, we are working and living like this. So I have to talk of quality. Again, I say, you have to take care of your building construction. Concrete and rebars and all other activities that you do on that, that is very important. Technically, I cannot explain to you every method because it is in much details. I will explain to you later on that, but I am talking you in a superficial way. At least information must reach you in some way, to some extent, that you should be aware of what is done and what is not done. At least you can ask someone, have you checked temperature of concrete? You have that much courage or no? Can you ask someone how much water you added to this? That much you know. You cannot ask that much. Why did you bring this bent steel? Can you not ask this question? Or can you ask that distributor who takes your order, I want straight bars? That would say, no, no, I cannot deliver. Your access is not good. My trailer shall will take extra expenses of trailer, charge you, and that trailer may not reach there. That person will be like, okay, that trailer cannot reach to my street. Fine, then give me cut bars from factory itself. I don't want 12 or 14 meter length. I want half of that. Can't you ask that? Why you give me 14-meter bars? Give me half. Finish. I will overlap that. Your expenses will be one overlap more, but at least steel should be good. Because you are strengthening on site, you are spending work on that. Resources are spent on that. So that money can go to overlap. What's the problem? But you have not this power to raise question. Oh, I cannot give you the steel. You will just answer, not factory. Factory produces both type of steels. If you ask them, they will give you cut. What they are losing ultimately? They are getting money. What's their problem? Or you use ask them coat it with epoxy. If you want, you cannot protect your steel. You buy epoxy coated steel. If that factory can give you, ask them, I want epoxy coating. At least you are protecting your life of building. And about shuttering, formwork we call. Formwork is very important, remember. Very significant part. Steel shall remain there inside. It would not be visible to eyes. It can be detected by certain instruments, but by eyes can't be detected. It will be hidden in concrete and covered around, but dimensions, lines, levels of your formwork shuttering shall be visible to everybody. I don't mind if it is good, but if it's not good, if your slab or lintel you call it is not properly leveled, if your beam vertical sides are not really vertical, if your bottom of your beam is not really horizontal and in line, your columns are not in line, your columns are out of your beam, or if it is designed like that, this should be vertical. We call it plumb. It should be square in dimension or rectangle but at 90 degrees angle, right angle. Same applies to foundations. Well, foundations are also underground, you may not be seeing, but your shuttering work shall impact upon linings and elevations, internally as well as externally. If shuttering is not according to its requirement, if you are using planks, you will find they are not in level, they are not in line. And if you use plywood, that is a better solution. Use plywood. Your plywood means marine plywood, or that red color plywood, that's so-called waterproof plywood. Don't use commercial ply, because commercial ply can be used, but it gives you less repetition. It gives you 4 repetitions, whereas this marine red ply can give you 6 repetitions. Repetition, I mean to say reuses. For example, you have many columns, you have many beams, you have many slabs. You can make sets of that and reuse them. You will make money out of that because you are going to save your rent. After all, you have to pay rent. You can use steel props or you can use cut, there's another called supporting system, structural scaffolding, this called cup log system. You can use that, but you have to use it professionally. Don't use that where you want. You have a plan, you set arrangements of that, give to some technical person, he will arrange that, or give to that person who is delivering you this scaffolding system. All should do professionally. All should you do professionally, otherwise there is no use. Control of formwork, control of rebars, control of concrete pouring, these all are engineering activities. Do not take them for granted. What I am saying about formwork is, formwork means a kind of mold, steel mold. When you have seen in workshops, mechanical workshops or molding workshop, you will find forging and going on, and casting of something is going on. This is casting of concrete on site to whatever shape it is cast. And there's a method of behind that. It's not simply casting, because we are compacting also, same time we cast it. We are packing this wet concrete to maximum density, and when we pack it, it's very important stage of concrete, and we pour into that mold this formwork. It's also very important because it is water, it is concrete fluid, which is having more weight than water. Water is having 1 ton per meter cube weight. Have you ever thought of that? Water has 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Per cubic meter of box is there, it is 1 ton. Water is 1 ton per cubic meter, but concrete is 2.5 ton per cubic meter. Remember, it is 2.5 times heavier than water. So you think what force it should be when you are pouring concrete into your column, into your beam. It's like you're pouring water into that in your tank, over a tank or underground tank. This means force of water or force of this hydraulic concrete, which is fluid, is much higher in this system. This is called concrete technology worry calculation. When you add it vertically, there shall be force horizontally which will try to throw off your shutter. And that is purpose of shutter, to keep that back so that it doesn't move from its position. If moves it from its position, then it cannot hold your concrete. Do you get this point? In foundations, height is very limited. It may be 30 centimeter, it may be 40 centimeter, or at most 1 meter if it is big foundation. It may be raft of 40 centimeter. It may be beams for say 50, 60 centimeter or more. As height increases, force increases, because force, vertical load like this. 1 meter means 1 ton per meter square on 1 meter square area where water is resting. You observe water is contained. It is a horizontal force also, which applies on your formwork of column and beam. Slab thickness is very less, so it's not much worried. System will take care of that. But for beams and for columns or for walls, it is very dangerous. Horizontal force, just think of. If there's 1 meter water, it's 1 ton. This horizontal force also, same thing, is 2.5 tons. There's much horizontal force. And that force, maximum force, lies at 2/3 from height. If your column is say 3 meters or 4 meters and you have to cast that, don't cast in 1 meter stages. That is not practically applicable. If you cast 1 meter height, 1 meter height, this is not professional work. People do that. because they cannot move more than they have the capacity to more than that. You have to create that capacity. That is rubbish work they do. They spoil that work. Reason are there, I'll explain to you. But you think that you are going to cast full height up to beam bottom. That is called professional casting. This means 3 meter weight is there or 4 meter concrete weight is there. Remember, 3.5 or 3 or 4 meter height. When you cast, you need strong shutters so that they do not open or do not push themselves, because we have to keep our member in fixed verticality and in fixed dimensions. That type of shutter we have to use in columns and in beams as well as in slabs. Slab may be 20 centimeter, in some cases 150 mm or 200 mm or 250 mm or 300 mm, depending upon design. But beams may be deeper. Column height, I am telling you, we have to take care of formwork in a professional way. We have to keep it so strong that this formwork doesn't move. And we have to use bolts in columns, steel bolts. We have to use bolts in beams. Otherwise, we cannot get what we want. And there should be good supports, controlled sizes and verticals. Column should be checked on all sides with dimensions as well as plumb. Its position at top and at bottom should be in fixed design according to a drawing. We have to keep examine all this before concreting as well as after concreting. One is called pre-concrete check and that's called post-concrete check. Both are required professionally if you want to work in a professional way. And slab, lender you call it, when beams and slabs are cast at one time. This is called monolithic concrete pour. Actually, what technology says, slab, columns and beams must be cast at the same time, but this is not practically possible because of many reasons. So we cast columns one time and slabs and beam one time, but construction joint is scared of. What is that? You might be surprised. What is construction joint? That's what I'm trying to explain. When these people do 1 meter pour, 1 meter pour, 1 meter pour, that is nonsense. They do it because of their ease of working, because of their standard shutter they take on higher. But what they don't understand, monolithic concrete, they don't understand. Concrete is one stone, artificial stone. Whatever you are doing, at the same time, at least there will be variation of mixes, but not big variations. Today you do this 1 meter, then after 1 or 2 days you do another one. So first of all, that concrete is taken care of this. That 1 meter portion or 1.5 meter portion has worked for 1 day or 2 days. Then you are pouring another one. You are not taking care of that top of 1.5 meter you have done last day. You have to prepare it correctly. Take out complete loose, expose it, scabble it, and aggregate should be exposed. You are not doing that. Then upper portion, you are taking another 1.5 meter in addition to below one. That you have to check again dimension and what is we call in Hindi sol or plumb, so that vertical surface should remain in perfect line, but it doesn't happen. You are missing joint, construction joint. You are allowing rubbish below joint to continue, and upper concrete and below concrete both are having a defect at that point where you did not prefer for new construction. So I am suggesting don't use that method, because on top also you have to prepare for construction joint. If your old concrete and new concrete are not perfectly connected, this means there are two columns, not one column. That portion, this is joint, lower concrete, this above concrete, this is weak now. This is not properly connected to that one. There is a lapse of connection, so your column is weak at that point. Same thing at neck of that column, means this is top of column, here beam is coming and slab is coming, this must be taken care of. Generally what they do, they leave some portion at above where steel bar from beam comes to this and goes into column. A steel bar that is coming, this is top of column, this is goes into this column, this beam bar that comes in L shape, it goes to this column. So either they leave this portion of this steel or they insert steel here. They insert beam steel here at time of working this column. These are options. If you want to leave that, do it with the slab or insert that dowel here. But this joint should be made perfect for connection with leaf concrete. This is not done here. Unfortunately, I don't know reason behind that. I don't understand any reason why it's not done, but it's not done. You need proper machine for that, scabbling machine, hacking machine, because if you manually do it, it will take much time. It's difficult also. You chip that portion, your old aggregates must be exposed and your cement water liquid must be cleared out, which we call in our language laitance, L-A-I-T-N-C. This laitance must be removed from old concrete so that there's bonding of new aggregate with old aggregate. So that at least 95% monolithic connection is created. But it is isolated connection that is being created here, not monolithic connection. So purpose of concrete is lost. We have to be very careful. Compaction is not done properly. Compaction means vibrator use. You pour concrete, say we are starting from column. Column we are going to cast say 4 meters or 3 meters. What is criteria behind that? Simple criteria is behind that. You have a vibrator that has a nozzle, maybe 30 centimeter, maybe 40 centimeter, depends what sort of vibrator you have. This nozzle has to go into concrete which you lay. For example, you have laid 40 centimeter depth first one. If you say hole, it won't work. You have 40 centimeter bottom you have laid, and you have a vibrator that should come into column. You have that tube of vibrator, long tube. It should go completely into that 400 millimeter or 40 centimeter and compact it. Then take it out. Then you have to lay another layer of 400 mm and compact it. If nozzle should go below to that level of previous layer and interlock it. I mean to say, this is a column you cast here. When you another concrete is there, it should go. Your nozzle should go into old concrete or previous layer for interconnection, for bonding, and then you continue casting. But who understands this? Nobody understands this. First of all, they don't apply vibrator rightly, so you will find broken concrete at bottom of column. When you take out shutters, you will find concrete is not reaching, it is not reached to every volume of that size of column into 40 centimeter or 400 mm. It is not reaching to every corner, every volume of that, which is a defect. And it applies to all also. If you are not applying vibrator in time and according to requirement, you will find defects everywhere in that column. This meant your column is defective. Column is most important material there, because this is last element, last member which goes to footing. So it does not take its stresses, it cannot take load, and its movement, it will not give you successful results. It will be defective. So how can you rely upon that? This is what technology demands. You need such type of persons there, resources there, who understand how to apply vibrator. It may be compressed based vibrator, or it can be electric or diesel based vibrator, whatever drive we have. Application should be done like that. And you have to move over and over up to you finished off top. But do not fill in one go. Do not fill whole column in one go. This is not recommended, because it can It can impact force on shutter because shutter is wet and shutter becomes a little weak. It can open it. If you have 10 columns, cast 2 or 3 layers in one, go to other one. Cast 2 or 3 or 4 layers in that, go to other one. Like that you rotate, and by that time you come here, it may be half an hour or 1 hour. Do not give much gap because that concrete is still wet, previous one. Before that concrete starts working, next layer should come on that, because there is a temperature variation of that. If that concrete has started working in setting and new concrete comes over there, this is not a good combination. This is called cold joint. One is hot, one is cold. This is not acceptable. Cold relation is not acceptable between hot concrete, because new one is hot. I mean, both are having different temperatures. Before this layer, bottom layer starts setting, new concrete should come. Joint should be heated one. All joints should be heated one. This is, I am telling you, you may be thinking it's too difficult, but on sites it's not difficult. People can understand this and they can fast move on these columns and keep continuing like that till they come onto top layer or the top level. When it's completely filled, you see pressure of concrete onto your formwork. That time you take care, means your support should be there, at least 1/3 height from bottom or 2/3 height from top. There should be strong support there, and then other supports. This is called fluid mechanics. Every engineer understands this, but foremen and supervisors, they don't understand this. Owner doesn't understand this. But if engineer is there, only then he can tell. If there is no engineer, how can you expect this? This is where supervision is required. Okay, this is column. We have gone up beam. Beam is also very deep sometimes, not very deep sometimes. Sometimes it's very small beam, sometimes big beam. It depends upon design. So it's also a member. It's having different purpose. So you have to take care of its opening also. So you have to use same way. When you are using pump, it's very important how you pour. It's very important. Once you have tested your slump on site, I mean to slump test, slump says what sort of mix it is, whether or not this is workable in your member. This you have to ensure. It is different for different members. Some means there's a test when you conduct on site, you fill that cone in 3 times and compact it and take it off. There's a fall, there's a drop in concrete from that. That drop is called slump, vertical fall. And that is specified for varying members. For column it should be this much, I mean to say. For structure it should be this much. For mass concrete should be, if there's a mass concrete, it should be having less water. There's a structural concrete, there's a little more water allowed in ratio. It depends upon which member you have to. Otherwise, you cannot fill in that member. Means workability coefficient falls down. And workability means concrete should be that much mixed with which can go conveniently to that member every quarter. That is slump test. So there is concrete temperature test, there is slump test, and there is concrete air voids also, which RMC people they fill in so that it can reach to your site in safe time before it starts setting in. But these voids are released when you vibrate that. Microsilica also requires that, I said, you use microsilica concrete. If you do not vibrate it, it cannot stand there. Otherwise, microsilica can continue this concrete without setting even for 8-9 hours. That is beauty of microsilica. But GGBS and PFA shall not give you that benefit. But microsilica, everybody does not use, is very good if it is used. Even 9%, 8%, 10% of cement weight it can be used. But GGBS can be used even up to 70% replacement of cement, and that is good against environment. I mean to say, it can help prevention of pollution if you use it. So controls are many. Now I am telling you pouring controls, temperature, slump and cube molding on site, 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches or 150 mm by 150 mm by 150 mm, 6 cubes for every test. These cubes are tested in laboratory on 7th day and on 28th day, and they tell you what strength concrete has. And if it does not tell you, real, I mean to say, if it fails, you use 35 grade concrete for example, and it's giving you 25 answers, so your concrete has failed. Means whatever you poured is rubbish. It's not according to design, it is something else. This means that concrete cannot be accepted. This means your concrete has gone waste, your steel has gone waste, your formwork has gone waste, everything has gone waste. It is scrap. And if it comes with the limits, your test says no, it's okay, passed. 7th day and 20 days, 28 days, if it says okay, result is fine, your concrete passed. Passed in engineering test. It's not confirmation that your concrete on site is okay. Test is okay. This is assumption that cube result is same as site result, but no. This isn't theory actually. This is a test. You are not sure about site concrete. For that, in bigger projects these days, there's another provision. You can add that test site concrete also. That can be tested by taking out certain cores from concrete, from slab or from column somewhere, and test them in laboratory. Well, that is another problem. I'm just not going to confuse you with that. I'm just going to tell you ordinarily what is done. If your cubes pass, it is assumed that concrete is fine and you can continue. But question is, that is test. But today you cast your column, you have to take care of column. You have cast your beam and slab, you have to take care of that. You have to cast your footings, you have to take care of that. How to take care of that? That is practical aspect. You have today cast a, oh, I'm happy I have cast my column. Okay, concrete is there. You sleep. What you do? If it is hot, what you do? Say temperature outside is 40 degrees or 35 degrees. Shall you sleep? No, you cannot. Though there is shutter, there is a top open mouth. You have to cover that. You have to keep it wet. But there is heat generation around column. You have to keep it cold by spraying water if it's too hot. Otherwise, heat shall reach that concrete through your formwork and damage concrete. If it is normal temperature, fine, no problem in that case. If it is heated one, you have to take care of that. And then you have to remove shutters. If you cannot afford, you have to remove shutters, you have to repeat them. If you have to keep that in position for 7 days, no problem. But if you have to take them out because you have to repeat them somewhere, then 24 to 48 hours you have to take them out. Once you take them out, your concrete surface is exposed. You have to cure it certainly. Otherwise, it will not work. So how shall you cure it? I have seen people taking hose pipe and keeping wet all this. Okay, they are doing that, that's fine, but water is not allowed to be wasted. Why you are wasting water? So best is, first of all, see if there is a defect on, will decide later on, but you immediately cover that with your gunny bags or Haitian, saturated Haitian. Saturated Haitian, you understand, you put that Haitian, dry Haitian in a drum of water and let it be, and then wrap it around that column and cover it with polythene further. Don't leave it. You'll ask question, why do you cover with polythene? Because that water contents that saturates that Haitian shall certainly evaporate after 1 2 hours and will become dry, useless. So to protect that evaporation to much extent, wrap it by polythene and cover till top so that water should remain, and add water later when it's required. And continue it. This is called curing, this is called treatment of column. This is one way. Then there's another way. If you can afford, I don't know how I understand that or you know it, there is called a curing compound. Curing compound which is composed either by water itself, water based, or it is wax based. Both types of curing compounds, these chemicals are there which can be applied on wet surface of column. Means there is a small pump available. It is a liquid, white liquid. If you are going for that, when you remove shutters of your columns, you just sprinkle that surface with water and immediately apply your curing compound on that so that all surface is covered, and then leave it. Automatic curing will be done without disturbance. Don't disturb that surface. Don't chip it. If you can do that, that's also acceptable for columns. Curing shall continue, but problem comes for columns when you use wax based material, because it takes few months for degradation of that chemical, and if you want to plaster that surface before that time, then you have to apply another compound so that this is removed, this is taken care of. Well, I'm not going to that because you will confuse otherwise. If you are doing water curing, do water curing. Then slab and beams. I have seen stupid curing here. These people, what they do, they construct some block masonry or brick masonry around this, and then they cure, which is not, I don't understand their mind. When you finish your slab concrete safely, you are sure you have done it, your mason will do surfacing on the vibrator application is very nice, you done. Do not forget vibration before doing finishing. It should be perfectly done. And you think you will cure next day, then you are wrong. Don't think that way. Immediately once it is done, finished like that, don't allow water to pour on that. Remember, masons generally put some water and finish like that. No, don't worry about finish. Let it be rough but leveled. Let it be rough but leveled. Don't think of finishing it too. It should be rough because it is going to receive some other material. It is going to receive flooring material or some roofing material. So don't worry about that. It should be dense. It should be leveled to requirement, and immediately cover with polythene sheet. Immediately cover with polythene. Don't wait, because don't allow water particles to evaporate. Water particles should not evaporate. That is immediate treatment. And once surface is hard, then you bring same saturated Hessian. You remove cover of polythene, spread your saturated Hessian, and flood water and cover your polythene sheet on that, and add water when required, though it won't be required because already discovered with polythene. It's saturated Hessian and then polythene sheet, and it will work. It is wet, and if required, you add water. So this is a combination of, you can say, wet curing as well as heat curing, because water is not being allowed to evaporate. This you can continue at least for few days. Don't worry, you can continue on upper steel and all that, no problem for that. You can fabricate steel in yard and bring it somewhere, and if you take care of initial curing, there is no worry. There's no much worry. If you can use curing compound immediately once you finish, then immediately no need of polythene. And if you don't use that, there is use of polythene. So this is general method I am just telling you, which should be done, which I have not seen being implemented here. Curing means reality of concrete. Curing means You are giving life to concrete. That is curing. It's not a joke. It's certainty. It's requirement. It's medicine. It's injection. It's a treatment we have to be sure of. Because ultimately, this water goes into particles also, concrete structure also. It goes everywhere. So we have to be careful about that. If you are not careful, you will certainly miss something. So you have to know this little only. And one floor you have done, other floors would require same. But quality is a question. This is what I am telling you all about quality. We actually write this type of statements on papers, which here is no such system or no such practice. We write before doing everything something on paper, that we have to do like this. This is our way. And that statement is approved by writer, by consultant, or by whosoever is there. Both have to agree on that, and then work is allowed. And then we have to follow up that. That copy is given to site persons. They have to read that, and site persons have to go through that. Of course, it is discussed with them before approval. They have to agree on this, and they have to follow this. This is very ordinary example I am giving you. There are many types of heavy concretes which are much different than this. But I cannot tell immediately everything because people need time to pick up. So this is quality about very small I given you. Quality, temperature quality, vertical fall quality, slump quality, air voids quality, pouring quality, vibrations, filling, how to fill in. And remember, after work is done, people run away from site. That's another problem. They don't take out from steel some material is there, from beams some material is left. They leave and run away, and which sets later on. So you have to remove that also. Quality is not a game. It is seriousness. Your quality concentration of few hours can give life to your concrete for few decades. Remember, today it is hard work, but it saves life, it increases life for your concrete. Concrete has certain functions. First function is it should safely work. It should be safe, it should not fall. It should give you desired service, and it should live long. Long live, we call it. That is, term is given durability. Means, suppose you want your concrete to stay for 50 years, it must stay for 50 years, or rather 60 years. That is durability. If it does not, means it does not have durability function filled in. Yeah, miss that. You can see old structures, stone structures, still working. Why? You may say, yes, it is limestone, it is lime mortar. Yes, that is. But cement is also limestone. Cement itself is limestone. What's difference? Difference in approach. That's all. Our approach is not for dedication, for devotion, but just to do without understanding. We have not to forget that these materials which we use today, these keep on changing their strength with respect to time. Today, how this material behaves, it is not necessary that it behaves same way after 30 years, 20 years, or 10 years. There shall be variation in strength. It may lose strength. It shall lose strength in coming times. And that loss of strength is known as hysteresis. Today it has having aggregate is having certain strength. Sand is having certain strength, cement is certain strength, but in coming time it may lose that. That point we have to cover in this. And that is why we consider stresses in design lesser than this metal can take, steel or concrete. So that time when it is 50 years, it also must serve before collapsing. That is most important. And this all is taken care of in design. But if design is not implemented, problem arises that time. Whatever design you are getting, it's not done. What designer thought of how shall you bend your steel? How shall you fix it? If you're not caring about that, what coverage should be? You're not caring about that. There should be no defect. You're not okay. As I said, you open column or shutters, whatever shutters, and you find defects. That's a weakness. That's one fault. How you have to repair that, but you're not going to repair. You're just putting some mortar on that. Oh, I have done it. No, everybody does it. Oh, this is a put some water. Bori laga do isme. There's just some gum bag on that, gunny bag on that. You think that is a repair? How is that repair? If same thing we did, there's a wound on your body, and you put something, put some soil here, shall it work? Same thing is there. There is a method to repair. That method people don't know. Because concrete is a chemical. It's chemical. Cement is chemical, water is chemical. There's a minerals in aggregate, silica, sand, all are unknown for you, but these are composite material. You need is repair material that is of same class, same family. Otherwise, it is foreign. It's alien for this. So there is another chemical we have to use for that. And there's a practical application on that. You have to talk to that one, that manufacturer, construction chemical manufacturer. But who bothers? I put something and remove. Nobody will look at this. Who shall look at that? You are causing defects, so you have to take care of that. If you are leaving that undone, means you are inviting through that caving in problems for future. Through that caving, that void or that portion where moisture can enter or something can enter, that will enter and spoil your complete densified concrete. This will move around and further deteriorate that material. So just for little sake, you are endangering your internal structure of that element of that member of concrete. Is that sensible? Not sensible. People do not understand, just repair it. Means we are inviting problems ourselves. Suppose there is honeycombing, I mean to say there's rough concrete and hollow concrete in some portion, water shall enter there, moisture shall enter there, and carbon would enter there, and fire would enter there, heat would enter there, and this will destroy that portion. How shall you take care then? And you say, oh, Mrs. collapsed one day, I don't know what happened, there is a crack here. You caused that crack. You did not compact that soil, you caused that crack because it sinks. You never cared that time. You did not take care of this damage here or this defect here. That's all. You are suffering now. Why do you take construction so lightly? Everybody is expert here. Everybody is expert. They don't understand anything of engineering, but they are experts. They know everything. You give, I will do it. I am taking guarantee. They take very easy guarantees. Every mason can take guarantee. Every steel fixer can take guarantee. And top guarantee this promoter can take. Only guarantee is not taken by you and by engineer who is not there. They cannot take guarantees. I don't know why we are living in doldrum. In spite of spending your money, you are not getting good product. You are spent, I have taken this much loan for this building, I have to pay back this loan, I have spent this much money. Okay, you have got this building, but it is defective building. What can I do? Therefore, we have to think of quality. It's very significant factor. It's very significant factor. If you miss that, you will miss everything. And remember, if it is defective, that cannot serve, it cost you many times more than what you had spent on that good work. Concrete pouring is very easy. It can be poured. Concrete can be done easily. But if you have to dismantle it, if you remove it because it doesn't work, you know how much difficult it is. Do you know that? There are losses and losses. You have to dismantle it. It takes time. It costs money. And then you rebuild it. How much time you are wasting? You did not use that building. You are taking out material. You are doing it again. Just see how much expensive is that. You are not happy to sleep there because you fear it may collapse. Or you are bringing expert carpenter or steel fixer or mason who will add some strength to this by another column inside. Nonsense. I add some girder here. They will suggest like this. And you are happy with that. This happens. I have seen this. Oh, this coming down. This balcony is add some circular pillar here. They decide like this. Really, sometimes I laugh and enjoy this beautification. This, forced beautification of building. In designs, we consider so many aspects. You know what we consider? Load distribution, forces distribution. We consider size of building, shape of building, height of building. We consider how to bring all loads together at center of building, in center of gravity. Whatever shape of building, we prefer to concentrate and transfer loads onto one point, which is exactly at center of gravity of building. Do you know that? We do not accept that this building should tilt. We do not accept that. We do not accept that unnecessary forces should come onto this building. That is why we try to bring all loads to one point, and that's called center point of building. Exactly center point of building in horizontal way as also vertical way, so that buildings remains stable. We try to bring that as much as possible until it is impossible. In that case, we use additional forces because of that additional shift of center of gravity and load gravity. There is additional force in form of torsion, additional stresses. We contain it somewhere. So don't take it just because you can add column everywhere. People don't understand purpose of column. People don't understand purpose of beam. People don't understand purpose of slabs. People don't understand purpose of foundations and footings. They just say do it. Just imagine you are standing on two legs, and your arms are normal, just like in attention position. How do you feel? And in school, we used to take Saudhan Vishram. In Vishram position, how do you feel? You feel some stress in Saudhan position, but when attention, but Vishram, you feel little relaxed. This is what is building. If your building is standing normally, it's not feeling any stress. If it is stressed, you have to relieve that stress so that it is comfortable. That is what whole design is about. If you say, no, I am standing on one leg, okay, keep your one leg up and one leg. You stand on one leg, how do you feel? You can stand for 1 minute. I'm trying to fall. That is what is building about. Your building can dance and fall. Or you have to add strength to that unbalanced portion. We call it engineering equilibrium. Means all forces, all loads are in such a condition which keep it tacked vertical or horizontally, so that building does not dance unduly. If it dances or vibrates, it should come back when there is earthquake, or when you stand on a bridge, for example, on the railway track. It's a bridge, you go up bridge and some train passes, what you feel? Bridge stays, bridge vibrates or no, but it comes back once train passes away. And same way, when there's a train of earthquake below building, this will vibrate, but that vibration should come to rest immediately. That is what is purpose of design. And same applies when there's a wind, when there's a storm, your building stirs, but it should come back immediately. And when there is no load, only dead load and live load, it should comfortably stay. Force should be in one point, resultant force or total force, not different. If that force shifts to other point, your building will not be in equilibrium. It will destabilize. Or there is a problem in soil below, this will destabilize. This is design and management of execution, project management, project design, which are considered together to be done practically. Designer also has to think a lot before deciding, before reaching a judgment that this is okay, I do this. That person should understand market, understand what sort of materials are available, can this be done or not, understand limitations of that site. There can be limitations. Maybe some surrounding buildings exist there. There's a plot and 2 or 3 buildings are on that plot around. These are limitations. These are boundary constraints. So we have to take that also into consideration. But how? If there is no support, if there is no demand as such, who will take care of that? Living alone? I have seen certain cases. There's a plot, excavation has been done. They want to construct basement. They have excavated, but 3 buildings are there, existing buildings on 3 sides, and one side there is road, and nobody is concerned. Nobody is concerned. 1 story, 4 story, one side is 3 story, one side is another 2 or 3 stories, and they excavated. No one is concerned about other buildings. And moreover, they brought steel load and kept on that portion. Means they added additional surcharge on that excavated area where there was a little space. Nobody is concerned. Nobody is serious. And then rain, much more, means rain can result in caving in of that soil. Nobody is interested. This happens. And I feel sometimes really surprising. I don't know, miracles go on here. Nobody cares if that building can sink. Nobody is checking that this building can sink or that building can sink, or who knows. Just excavate and construct yours. That's it. Means what to say? What to say? Sometimes you enjoy it or feel anger. I don't know. Because so much confidence exists in public, everything's fine. And if something happens, oh, there was some evil spirit that came and destroyed this. That is answer. Evil spirit comes into picture. They don't understand evil spirit that is in your mind. They don't understand that evil spirit. So what should I say in that case? Can you guide me? I should beat myself, or what should I do? Or I should blame architect, or I should blame engineer, I should blame owner. As far as quality is concerned, quality does not exist, I can say. Doesn't exist. I have seen metro here. Two types of concretes were there. Rather, three types you can say. Cast in situ in vertical columns, big columns, and pre-stress or pre-cast on deck. Okay, pre-stress is controlled in factory. That is not much concern because there is no manual work on that. All work by machines. Even pressing by machines, steam curing, so much is done there. So care is done for pre-stressing. But for cast in situ, can't see. There are crash barriers around at bottom of those pillars. I saw cracks on them. There is no crash on that, but cracks were there. No good surface, voids were seen. Means control is required on side casting. Side casting is very significant. That is very much required to be controlled, which is absenting. And this is job of engineering because they are required to be expert. They are supposed to be experts of this. If they cannot do it, no one else cannot do it. No one else. But if they are hired, if they are not hired, nobody can help. And they should know this before being hired. They should know it, they should write it what to be done, and then do it. I am not saying do my way, not at all. Do your way. You decide what you have to do, but you do something. Don't believe what I am saying. I am not guaranteeing anything that you follow this. You make your statement. You follow that. But technology you cannot change. What should be controlled according to technology you cannot change. You cannot move on IS codes blindly. You cannot move on the code blindly. You have to make perfect understanding of your profession. Codes are also written by some people who are never been to site, who have never been to site. They are written by those people. So you cannot blindly depend upon them. You can consider them recommendations, but you are more recommendable than them. You recommend your own way, your own experience, and do that because nothing is perfect. Experience is perfect. Knowledge learned from experience is perfect. That is more valuable than degrees. That is more valuable degrees. Your experience shall make you change and change and change and learn. So quality, if you maintain, you deliver product. Safety must be there. That is different world. Work should be safe. Concrete should be reliable. As I said, reliability equal to safety plus serviceability plus durability. These are minimum constraints, minimum parameters in addition to additional parameters you can do, which is called value engineering. If your design is safe, if your material is safe, as I said, you have to keep good material in for permanent work, and if that is safely working, servicing, and on top of that it works for a duration that its life is intended for, that is called reliability coefficient, reliability factor. So reliability equal to safety plus serviceability plus durability. You have to do it. If you cannot do it, your product is defective, it's substandard, it's not acceptable. Yes, it is substandard, it will not fall immediately, but it shall not give you full service. It may sag, it may not resist fire, it may sink, it may tilt, it may award you with any negative answer. This award, you are receiving that. You must have received certain buildings collapse or tilted. You never thought why tilted. This is reason. This is, there are certain cracks, settlements, all because of negligence of quality requirement. I'm not saying assurance. And system which we form, system in designs or system on sites for manufacturing of building or working of building or construction of building, that must be quality system. Today there's not much time to explain. I will continue explanation of that. I'll keep on further. But today I try to just bring to our attention certain quality criteria which we have to take care on materials. Systems of controls, systems of equilibrium, systems of operations will continue. ISO 9001 2015, I was continue, I'll continue that one. But before that, I try to apprise you about materials control, because concrete is very, very important element which makes your life standardized and also which deteriorates environment. Remember, it is our enemy as well as our friend. Concrete is our friend but also our enemy if we don't use it properly, because we are taking material from lithosphere or earth, part of solid part of earth, that is lithosphere. We are taking out that material, we are taking out rocks particle, we are taking out dust particles, we are taking out limestone, we are taking out silica, all are construction material, we are using them. But of course we are exploiting earth, we are not adding to environment good thing, but at least we should not further deteriorate that. We have to protect as much as possible by using this metal in the best manner possible, so that this deterioration of pollution should at least be used for 50 years, 100 years to come in, because without development also we cannot live. And development must be sustainable. We call it sustainable development. What does it mean? Have you ever heard this? Sustainable development, what does it mean? Today we are developing something, we are using natural resources or sources, just like we are using petrol, we are extracting fossil fuel from beneath seas, from beneath oceans. All countries are taking out in Gulf and Middle East and many other countries, and they are using it for petroleum products, for gases, for all. But we have robbed that material, you know, since 1935, and now it's 20. In 85 years, we have done robbery of this material. This material, petroleum, was not converted in 1 year from fossils oil to fossil fuel. It took many millions years, but we are taking every day just for making money. There was a report in 1915 that don't take that much because it will impact our atmosphere. This report was ignored by everybody. Now, what happens? We have polluted our air. We have polluted everything. There's too much carbon dioxide in air. There's too much methane in air. We are not concerned with that. We are extracting more and more, and drinking that through our cars, our trucks, our industrialization, and spoiling further. And we are happy with that, because those people who are extracting this, they are happy with money making, because they will not stop this. It may be Arab world or some other world, and those who are selling cars, they will not stop it because they are making money. Everybody is using this material in oil form or in steel form or in plastic form, in whatever form, and leaving danger for coming generations. This means this is not sustainable development. Sustainable development, this cannot be called. This is called unsustainable development. Today what we are doing, it cannot continue in comfort for tomorrow generation. And complaints have started coming in from Europe. People are fighting why to take care of environment. Today what we are using, tomorrow this generation won't be able to use these, and there is no sustainability. There should have been limit, but that limit has been crossed. Can you stop car manufacturing? Can you stop truck manufacturing? Can you stop this? You cannot stop this now. A stage has come. You have to further deteriorate this, and a time comes and you cannot respire. 50 years go back. If what was quality of air at that time and what is quality now? You might have heard Delhi water was equal to London water quality one time in water coming through tapes. And now what is status? This is not sustainable development. We have taken everything which is available and used it. Just like naughty children of very rich father. They have taken everything out and use it. Generation coming for, they will further take it out and use it. So what shall happen? This is not sustainable development. This is, we are damaging our development. What's happening in Europe? They say, oh, it is warm winter. Temperature is 1.5 or 2 degrees up than normal. And what happens? Summer, 35 degrees, France shivers. Oh, 35 degrees, we have no air conditioning, we cannot live. They go to fountains and take bath. Here, 45 is no problem, 48 is no problem. Because they are not used to that, but they are selling big cars to you. They are selling you Mercedes, they are selling you BMW and all other expensive car, but for themselves, but go and see what they are using: cycles, scooties, very small cars, and you are using Mercedes. Oh, I have status. What status you have? You have spoiled air. You have spoiled aluminum, you have spoiled steel, you have spoiled rubber. All you are using in your cars, in your trucks. What have you done? Electrical conversion will take another 5 decades. It's not going to happen soon. And you are going to use petrol till that time. Everybody is interested in making money. So where is sustainability? Where is quality? Your air quality is bad. Your water quality is bad. So where are you living in? That is why I'm surprised. No one is serious. Europe is not serious. US is not serious. England is not serious. We are not serious. China, no one is serious. They talk only, but they don't walk. All talk. We will bring down carbon dioxide level to 50%. They only talk. What they have done for that? If you talk to them, we don't have budget. We cannot take care of that. Then you talk of budget. Oh, no, we'll keep producing oil production. Saudi Arabia, no, I'll increase production. That person is interested only in production, not in controls. So where do we stand? I don't understand. They talk one, act other way. Everywhere. Material is heavier than your life. Material is heavier. You want to make money by hook or by crook, by befooling others, by issuing false statements, by misleading whole world. UNO is doing nothing. Then what can they do? They have no controls. Who has power? He is doing everything. So complete uncontrol is there. But if you control your at least house construction, for you can do something. But you are also not doing that. We cannot control everyone, but at least we can control ourselves to some extent. That too we are missing. Oh, I cannot do this. I have just given to builder, promoter. That person shall construct and give me this. I'll give him one flat. You are worried about your job, which will give you few thousands or some package in 1 month. But this you are losing on your construction of whole life. You are not worried about that. I cannot force you. I can only advise you. Well, if you take advice, it is fine. If you cannot take advice, that is up to you. No one can force someone. This time is left. Well, I will not continue because you all have 2 jobs. Well, what I'm concerned is that I explained to you It's not final. It's just, you can say, a fraction of so much available. But I'm just trying to open your eyes. Consider this. At least you know something, you can ask a question to some person why he's not doing this way. Do not take everything easy. They are making money, don't forget. Contractor is making money, promoter is making money, and laborers are getting their dues per day. They are not rich, but they are working and they're getting. But material supplier is taking money. Everybody is taking money. They are making their lives, their businesses, but you are losing money without getting quality product. This is difference. Ultimate loser, you are end user. If you are just dealer in between, fine, you will not take care of. But that person to whom you sell this and who occupies that area, that person is sufferer. Who has paid you money, who has not who just paid you money for what you demanded, but that person is not getting product, sustained product, you can say. Whose fault is this? You have to decide yourself. Are you just living for money earning and incorporating yourself to deterioration of environment and exploitation of material? That is your religion, I should say that. That is your religion, your conscience, that you are accepting that negativism or indirect destruction, or you are worried about earth, worried about nature, you are thinking something, because one day everybody has to go. My explanation shall continue because I am serious about this. Actually, what I learned during experience, during career, I don't want to take it without giving to someone. Writing, I used to write everything, try to communicate on various sides, but current generation is not interested in reading. They are not interested in writing, even though they are educated, highly educated. They are engineers, they are doctors, they are professors. They are neither interested in writing nor interested in reading. So I thought just to talk to someone. And I think people may not be interested in talking also, in listening also. So there is no solution. If I write, it takes a lot. If I'm talking to you, I've been talking for 3 hours or more. I mean, many pages can be written, but people don't read. And thanks to this media, Facebook or whatever, they are allowing this service. Otherwise, you can't do that. And we are meeting together indirectly. At least some information is available. You can search internet, you can find some information, right or wrong, that is different. But culture has changed. So better talk, no problem. As far as something can go to someone, students can learn, you can say professionals can learn, public can learn. Ultimately, question of dissemination of information positively. If something someone can learn. If people are hesitant, they are rigid, no, we are not interested, we are happy in whatever world we are living in, then no one can help them. Even God cannot help them. Because God also constructed us, don't forget. This is work of God. This earth is work of God. This solar system is work of God. This air is work of God. We contributed nothing to that. We are just using this wealth for our benefit. This stone is from God. I did nothing on that. The water is from God. Everything is from God. We are using that material and we are spoiling that material. So we have to be concerned about that. If we concern that much, this is a service to God. This is more than your religious worship. Because religion is not confirmed, but earth is confirmed, remember. There is no evidence of religion. There is evidence of lithosphere and air. This is evident. Solar system is evident. This is work of God. This is not my work, not your work. But religion is imagination that cannot be supported by evidence. So we are having direct religion with us. So we have to take care of that. That's what I'm stressing about. So if you take control of quality, you can take control of safety, you can take control of yourself, you can do a lot with this. I like to close it to continue next time. Thank you very much, channel you joined. I'll be happy with you if you think of this, and thanks a lot indeed.